There we go. There we go. I'm live. I'm live to all of the fine viewers out there. What's up, everybody? It's going to be deck audit time. It's time for some deck audits. What's up, chat? Throw me some chats. How we doing? How we doing? I'm warming up. I'm warming up for some deck audits. They're going to be firing today. Let's see. How are we doing? How are we doing? Oh, okay. I think YouTube's definitely being weird right now. Noisy Noiver, I see you're commenting. Deck audit hype. Yep. Doc Prof, happy day before FNM. It is the day before FNM. I cannot see. There we go. YouTube was just not showing me live chat. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Nate Walker, I have my Underworld Breach waiting at home on me. Didn't know you guys were in Rhode Island. We are in Rhode Island. It's going to be just me today. Solo stream. I can do it all. I can do it all. I'm always here for you, Beezy. Thanks, son. Thank you, son. It's a small family stream this time. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some deck audits. I will probably... I don't know how this is going to go because I think 2 people is the optimal number of people to do this with. Mia is currently MIA, which is the best joke ever. But I'm going to still try to see if we can make this happen. What we're doing, if you are new to the stream or this segment, what we do for streaming is we're going to do deck audits. So I'm going to paste, I will paste something in the chat in just a second and pin it. But basically the gist is if you want to send a super chat, I will audit your deck live on stream. And all you got to do after you send the super chat is email this email that I'm typing out right now. There we go. It's deckaudits@nitpicking-nerds.com. I'm going to pin this. I'm going to pin this to the top. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just so you guys have that information. Also, the information can all be found above my head, but you know, some people aren't too keen on that, so we got it in 2 places. But yeah, we're getting warmed up. I'm going to limber up so I can get all these super chats, field them all. I actually probably need a piece of paper to write this all down on. Please hold. There's one right over here. Oh yeah, let me just move this huge box of stuff we're giving away on Whatnot. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's all just so heavy, you know. I mean, the collector boosters and the booster box that we're giving away for free. It just takes so much time to move all this stuff. Here we go. Boom. Paper. We're good to go. Okay. I have it. I have it, and we did it. We did it. Now I can write down anyone who's, if you want, whoever super chats, I can write down their information so I don't screw up. Adam White says, best LGS in Rhode Island, heading to Newport tomorrow. I have no clue. I don't really think we've been to an LGS here yet, despite living here for like 6 or 7 months. We're a little slow on that uptake. I think it's all just been channel stuff. That's what we've been up to. I got chat also on my phone. I'm not checking my phone. I'm checking chat on my phone. Double checking. Yep, we're going to hang out here. There's always, you know, YouTube's always very kind to me. There's always like an exactly 15-minute span where we're just kind of hanging out. People are coming into this stream. And then, for whatever reason, after a certain point, that's when the super chats come in. So if you want to beat the rush, send in a super chat and get your deck audited. You can be the first one of the stream. You know, maybe it's because there's no window right now. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, what if I put that back? Does that look better? What if I put Moxfield actually on the screen? Would that help? It was just me in the void for a second. I didn't even notice. You should have told me, chat. What the heck? You should have told me on that one. Stuart says, hello, Beezy. How you doing, friend? I got nothing for you to audit now. That's okay. Anand says, what if the deck is already good and doesn't need upgrades? Well, if you just want me to look at it, I could also do that if you throw a super chat at me. But if I would assume you would want it audited. I love how the chats are pouring in as soon as I'm not swimming in the void anymore. Razor Ryle says, I prefer it before more tranquil. I'm surprised Rhode Island even has an LGS. There's just the one for everybody. Can you upgrade my play skill, or is that a future stream? Yeah, where we're gonna have people on stream to promote how your play thing. All right, let's see. So, okay, let's see. Mr. B251, hope you're doing well? I am doing well. I'm solo streaming. This is gonna be interesting. We're going to have to make this work. Okay, let me see. I do see that we got a super chat. I'm just checking a few things, making sure everything's running properly. Mr. Bioshock, thank you for the $10 super chat. I will note here that it is 15 for an audit, but if you were not aware of that, I can always try to make this happen. Let me see. And then just make sure that once you've sent a super chat of the proper of the amounts above my head, you can then email deckaudits@nitpicking-nerds.com, which is both above my head here in smaller font and pinned to the chat. Fire that off. I'm going to be checking that email. It's still just me, so it's going to take a longer time, possibly a little longer to get that moving. Oh, thanks, Mr. Bioshock. Yeah, you're good to go now. Now we're all set. No, thank you so much. We appreciate that. It's going to help put our cats through college. And it looks like... Okay, yeah, I'm just going to... I think you just sent me something, but I'm going to... Just got to confirm your identity. So just reply to that, and then we'll get started. I'm excited. The super chats are starting early. The deck audits starting early. Gotcha. Perfect. That's enough verifying for me. I need to send this to myself, and then open it myself. Ooh, I'm actually getting a 404 error on this Moxfield. You want to make sure this is updated? You might have to send me a new thing. Mr. Bioshock. I can try again, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting an error on this side. Yeah, this looks like an error on my end. Phil says, how do you do the upgrade? Well, we're going to pull up your deck once... We're going to have an example deck very soon. But we're going to pull up this deck, and then we are going to do the predetermined amount of changes. I guess Discord's here. Predetermined amount of changes based on how much the super chat was for. All right, looks like we got the new link, so let me check this one. This one works. Okay, so we're going to copy this. Nope, not open it. Going to copy it. Paste it over here, and then I'm going to open it right here. And voila. Voila. We have it. While this will start getting a little trickier when we have multiples in the queue at the same time. Phil says, how do I pay? You just send a super chat of 15, 30, or 60 above my head here. Just send that to the super chat, like directly to the stream. And then I'm going to get an email from you of your deck. And then that's going to be, basically, that's the only process. Those are the only steps. All right. This is the first one of the day. Is this really I don't know if this is the exact serialized number you have, but serialized Elder Snorin's pretty sick. Casual 15 hundo, no big deal. Make a big A $$ board of creatures and tokens that phase out to avoid pesky board wipes or block big creatures for free. So let's take a look. I think we do this by, let's just do it by type. Oh shoot, we got Crawling Chorus in here. We doing some infecties. We're infecting people. Skrelv, Mere Convert. That's one of Mia's favorites. Norn's Inquisitor. Oh my god, Regicide with the super chat. Thank you. Let me write this down. Awesome. Just email your Regicide. I'm only speaking to Regicide right now. Email your deck list to the email that I have pinned, and boom, we're good to go. You're going to be next in the queue. As I update, I will also need to update my email here. There we go. Okay, so we got 5 changes to make. So we're going to be making them. We are going to be making them. Trust me. This looks like Phyrexian Typal. 23 Phyrexians. Oh my, Adam White. Guess just shoot the email to the pinned email. Yes, you're going to shoot the email with your deck list. Thank you so much for that. That is, you're going to be buried in these audits. You're going to have so many recommendations, your head's going to spin. Thank you so much. That is enough to pay, I think, for a Miso class. That's already one class that he needs to take in college. He's going to be very appreciative if he figures out how to read. So we've got a bunch of Phyrexians. This is like Phyrexians. We can make them indestructible. We can pump them with both Elish Norn and this one. And then there's this one also because there's like the Splicer sub-theme. That's pretty cool. Master Splicer is like one of my favorite cards. That's a sick one. Even Sunder the Gateway, some on-theme removal. And then I see, yeah, Gladriel's Dismissal phases things out. Get Lost as Destroy. We can make ourselves indestructible to Fairies. And then Concealment and a Chroma's Blaze. You're like, you are set against these board wipes. If a board wipe ever happens, you're good. You are good. Nonsense, it's like a quarter of your deck. Will it even be your deck at that point? You know, it's a collaboration. It'll be a collaboration. Are you predetermining your kids to be chefs? I don't think so. But if I am, let me know. 38 lands seems good too. This is a nice little deck. Not just because it's blinged out, but it's because it looks pretty strong. Skull Clamp in here, Idol. We have proper Rampies. The one thing I do not like Norn Wellspring. That card is like not played well for me at all. So I gotta duplicate this deck. Okay. Yeah, I have been very disappointed with Norn's Wellspring. Just a note about the super chats and the queue. I'm gonna be getting people in for the queue. Wow, Mr. B coming in with a super chat as if on cue. Eric P says, "Hi Beezy." Hi Eric, what's up? It's just me today. I wanted to participate in this for a while, and now I have a bit of extra cash, so I'm excited to see what you think of my pet deck. That's so nice. Thank you. Let me write this down. Mr. B hitting us with the $30 super. Thank you. Stormtrooper says the $50 super can get Beezy out of some budget decks. LOL. The autocorrect sucks. It does. It does. Eric says finishing my work deck. Well, you picked the right place to finish it. It's going to be Beezy ASMR and deck upgrades. That's all this is. All right. So yeah, I cut the Norn's Wellspring. Wedding Invitation. Yeah, that is some white card draw. I don't know how hard up we are for card draw. We got Clamp, Idol, Staff, other staff kind of. I'm not even going to really count that. Thopter Shop, Announcement. That's 5. None of this really draws cards. Then there's also, let me see. Who else? How else can we draw cards with this? Oh, Roaming Throne. Cool, cool. Yeah, maybe I guess S% 6. So I'd maybe try to find another way to draw cards with this deck and not take out and not cut the Wedding Announcement. If you have Wedding Announcement, by the way, it's like really expensive. Wreck-It Ralph, he's in our walls and he's in our chat. Let me write this down. Wreck-It Ralph, my favorite animated protagonist, hitting us with super chats, gonna get his deck audited, and he's in our walls. Mia is busy. She's MIA. That's what I've been saying. And yes, that is the funniest joke of all time. It's just me. I'm all alone. But I can make it happen. I guess what I want to do is I need to acquaint myself with the Phyrexians that are even available. Like, that are even white, you know? To see what we're missing, if anything. Mondrak is a Phyrexian, but he's right here. All right, let's keep looking. Wormcoil. That could be something to consider. It even makes tokens. Suture Priest is funny. Definitely funny. I bought Wedding Announcement and thought it was expensive, not because the commander, I guess, did not do the job I wanted from it. Yeah, it's a fine commander card, I think, but I don't love it. Phyrexian Censor, that's a good Phyrexian. Yeah, I'm assuming you got most of the... Like, I guess, do you have Censor Splicer? I don't think you even want Censor Splicer. If you had it, I'd probably recommend cutting it. Skitterfang. What does this do? Whenever Phyrexians attack, you can bring an artifact back? That's an option. I'm sure you've considered it, but it is an option. Yeah, it's pretty much only pricey because of standard. So if you have one, chat, you just sell it. Just sell it. When it rotates, it'll be worthless. I agree. It's like, look, I want golems, but I don't want golems that bad. And the Phyrexians are a little bit lacking. There's just a card called Phyrexian Pegasus? I don't think this is in the main set. That's so weird. Yeah, I guess there's also Changelings. Could be an option. Maskwood's not great for us, but Mirror Entity could be a way to go. It's also another way to pump. I don't hate it. Yeah, exactly. Just wait another year and it'll be $1. I don't know when it rotates. I know the rotation is longer. All right, but we need to cut cards. I'm going to cut cards before I add cards. Get Lost. I got to try Get Lost because it does hit enchantments. And Planeswalkers, I guess, but... Bioshock says, not too many. That's why I ended up going with the mirror cards. Plus, they survive the saga. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've never been a huge fan of top, like just in random decks. Like I like it with synergy, but it does not feel broken when you just throw it in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got decent ramp, plus the mana dorks, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I would probably cut Zenith Chronicler. I don't like the fact that it's going to be drawing other people cards, even if I get the cards. I think it's just, that card just reads as downside to me. Unless you're group hugging, but we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. Sajiri Shelter. That's always a, I mean, MDFCs. Come on. I'm not going to hate on MDFC. Topless Citadel is where it's at. I agree. Topless Citadel is silly. You feel like you're cheating. Oh, that's a great art for Nykthos. I wonder if there's any other bigger version of it on set. Oh, Phyrexian Awakening. Yeah, we want the payoffs. I think what's the tricky part about this deck is going to be that the Typal payoffs are competing with the bread and butter stuff. So there's like 25 cards that I can't really cut. But I think Archaeomancer's map can go. That has not impressed me that much. I might just rather play like a Mind Stone or something. Let's add that before I forget. Mind Stone. Let me write down some things here. 5. That's gotta be okay. And this is also... Oh geez, chat is exploding. Chat is exploding. Would Gandalf the White be a good addition? Let me check. Don't have the Gandalfs memorized. I know he like cares about entering. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving, you get double triggers on that. Nah, because we don't have that many legendaries. There's just like a couple, and they don't really have triggered abilities. Jeez, that Elder Norn art is very sick. This Mere Sire, I don't know. There's not... Oh, okay. OBS says it disconnected and reconnected. All right, well, let me know if that was a problem. We should be good, though. Thanks, OBS. I'm going to be right back, actually. Let me just plug in the Ethernet real quick. I'm already sensing some shenanigans. Okay, it's plugged in. Hopefully, there's no clown behavior from OBS. We should be good, or YouTube. But yeah, I think I want to trim Mirror. It's a little low impact when we don't have stack outlets. I mean, we can skull clamp it twice, but we can skull clamp anything. So that's 4. How about lands? Oh, this isn't a Myria deck. You've got like alternate arts that I haven't even seen. Like, what is this even from? What is this one even from? Is this just alternate arts that I haven't seen? Typal deck? That's everything? Nah, the lands look good. I'm not going to bother too much. I mean, we're close to a Field of the Dead mana base, I think. Audio is definitely choppy. Now, is that just for Will, or can anyone verify that? Beezy's gone back to dial-up. Let me see here. One, two, three, 4. Okay. Yeah, let me know if the audio is choppy, anyone, or if that might just be a Will problem. As I continue the audit. Seems good for me. There was definitely a skip. Yeah, it should be good now. All right, thanks, guys. Just checking in, trying to make sure everything's not falling apart. We do want to stream to actual people and not the void. All right. Well, this search didn't. Let's go back to Phyrexian and see if I forgot anything. Oh yeah, I did like Wormcoil. I did like that. There's the Vindicator. But we're not really we're not really dealing damage in that way. You've got pretty much every Phyrexian payoff. I am looking at this Harvester. If its mana value is equal to or less than, but we just gone OBS disconnecting again. Thanks, OBS. That's so nice of you. I'm so glad that you did that. What's up, Zanzibor? How's it going? Been a fan of Dolmen Gate? Yeah, there goes OBS. Love it. You guys also get updates, I think, because I'm just sharing my window. So, Harvester was a solid option for Recursion. It is interesting. I'm a little hesitant. But yeah, I do have to get another card out of here. What else would I cut? Maybe Sunder the Gateway. Since I know you left in the like Phyrexian payoffs, but this isn't really a Phyrexian payoff. It puts a Phyrexian in play, but I might, because your removal is so good. You've got Path, Swords, Get Lost. Even Charge is a little dicey, but it makes Phyrexians. Excise is like a flavor card, but it doesn't actually give us anything. It doesn't give us any juice. Jeez, there's only 27 Phyrexian. Like, what was in Phyrexia All Will Be One? How were there this few creatures in that set? Am I missing something? Oh, this is just, got it. We want type. That's better. Let's sort by mana value. Yeah, because some of these are just randos. They're not going to be doing us any favors. There is the Perilous Mirror. It is like a roadblock. It's like the tiniest little roadblock that you ever saw. Seed Pod Caretaker. Put a counter or transform. There was a lot of cards that were in March of the Machine that weren't really in the set. And I don't know why they did that. Tiller of Flesh. Argenta Masticore. Defiler. We have Defiler. The Choir Master's cool, but I don't know if we're proliferating all that much. Then again, the Shepherd, we don't really have things for that. I definitely think I would put Wormcoil in this deck just because we're already like on the lookout for playable creatures. But I'm still like on this hunt to cut a card. I feel guilty cutting top. That's more of a me thing. Enlightened Tutor. Oh, we have Enlightened Tutor for Skull Clamp too, so that's basically an extra piece of card draw. At that rate, I would actually almost put in I think Sword of the Animist. And then you're close to just being able to put in like Stoneforge Mystic, because now you have Sword, Skull Clamp, and I guess I was thinking there was something else. I think if you had one more equipment, you could definitely just play like a value Stoneforge, getting Skull Clamp 90% of the time. Yes, Enlightened Tutor can also grab SB Senti. What would my cut be? Maybe Selfless Spirit. We already have 100,000 ways to phase our stuff out. It doesn't technically phase out. Maybe just for redundancy, I would trim the Selfless Spirit and then try to add like 2 more creatures into this deck. Probably ones that don't cost 11 though. Because you're not just playing cards that are vanilla. At least Crawling Chorus has a second life, and at least these make mana, and at least this is 2 bodies. You might have been able to find all the ones that exist like that. Mandible Justiciar could do something. I wonder if I think Phyrexian Revoker, like, we're so close to that being good. Shutting off just a random mana rock. It's kind of like a better Oblivion Ring, but for very specific things. But in this deck, of course, not in any other deck. Honestly, I think Phyrexian Censor would be that's a pretty banging card. I mean, when we're playing Phyrexian, you know, how could you say no? How could you say no to that? Spirited Companion because dog? I don't know. Can we do that to our boy? The goodest boy? He's so good to us, and we're going to throw him to the Phyrexians? I don't think so. Okay. I'm just checking my connection. It says I have excellent connection. We'll see. We'll see about that. For anyone popping in, we are doing deck audits. So this is the stream where just me alone this time, is doing for the above mentioned amounts. I'm going to be doing, based on the super chat you send, I'm going to audit your deck on stream. We're on the first one still because this stream has been a struggle for a second because it's just me, but then we will continue to move down the queue. If you want to know the email that you will send to after sending a super chat, just go above my face. There's one right here, right there, or in the chat, which is pinned. It is pinned to chat. I can't believe it's been a half hour on the stream already. Just been hanging out. We're just jamming. I feel like maybe Phyrexian Vindicator is actually playable. Because we got some, like, quote-unquote stinkers, you know. We got some cards that we're playing just because they're Phyrexians. But this is at least a 5/5 flyer. And if it takes damage for some reason, we can just kill something. And we can also go face. That might be my next move. Specifically for the flavor. I don't think this card is, like, busted or anything. But, I mean, look at that art, though. You also get to play that art. Ooh, yeah, you could also Phyrexian Revoker on treasures. Here, I'll throw in Phyrexian Revoker, and you can basically just pick between that one or the Vindicator. But I think one of those two is the move for sure. It might even be Revoker. But we got to move on to the next deck as I copy the link to myself. This one was actually easy to do. And then I just have to open it. Here he forged these hands. This is Regicides. There will be 5 changes made to this deck as well. That is how this is going to go down. Okay. Nahiri, I don't know if we've done this one on the audits yet. On our Deck Audits account. Let me duplicate this. You're just going to be called Hands. We're just going to give you the Hands name. Oh, this isn't even our Deck Audits account. I'm on Nitpicking Nerds account. Gosh dang it. Crap. All right. Please hold. Let me... We're supposed to be in the Deck Audits for this. Oh, no. It's not really that big of a deal. There we go. Now we should be good. Now there's just going to be, for the next hour or so, there's just going to be a deck called Hands as the Nitpicking Nerds' most recent deck. And no one will know but me and you. Only we will know. We made it to the official Moxfield, yeah. How does one request deck improvement? Well, it is super chat based, so you just send in a super chat of the above amounts, and then after that super chat goes through, you're going to send you an email to the email that I've pinned on top of chat, and then you'll go right into the queue, and you will be added to this fine list of folks, and your deck will be updated live, upgraded live on stream. So here is Affinity for equipment. Whenever a quick creature you control attacks, impulse draw, and then you can play it, and you can cast equipment this way for free. So how many equipment do we have is my first question. Equipment 18. That is not too shabby. Yes, that's the clickbait title. I give viewers the hands. Get these hands. Or if I was playtesting this deck, it would say draw these hands. Get these hands. 33 lands. Wow, that's the first thing I'm noticing. It's like a little low. I mean, you are 2.5 average mana value. Maybe you could support it. I might be adding an MDFC. We'll have to see. Mantle of the Ancients. That's the one that brings everything back. Are our equipment dying that bad? I don't think they are. I have not found equipment to perish so easily. That is probably one of the ones I'm going to trim first. I also noticed Moon Silver Spear. I think Moon Silver Spear, it's like a chunkier equipment, but I don't know. There is the other one that, like, I get that you're cheating equip cost probably. You have, like, Pure Steel in here. Actually, no, there is not Pure Steel in here. Maybe we want to put him in here because he does cheat equip costs. But, so let's do that. I like that. Pure Steel's great in equipment decks. He's so good. He draws you cards, just like SRAM, who actually is not in here either. But that could be a way to go. I feel like these guys are like staples. We got to add them. We got to add them. They're both so good. Casting equipment draws you cards, and Pure Steel obviously is better because it gives you free equips. Despite that, I'm still not super high on Moon Silver Spear. I just think that what it does is not very good. There is a similar card from this. I also never really had success with the spear. What's the one? It's literally like that card but better. It's like that card but better in every way. It was you guys know what I'm talking about. We'll find it in like 7 seconds. Seraphic Greatsword. This is cheaper to play, but it still has that pricey equip cost. But the Angel's tapped and attacking if you attack the right player. Plus, now that we have SRAM and Pure Steel, we can cantrip it off of it faster because it costs less. That's what I would do, I think. That gives you the same Angel, but it's got that modern power creep addition. So let's cut the next 3 cards and figure out what else we don't like. Maybe more equipments. We shall see. Wayfarer's Bauble, Fiend Lash, Helm of Awakening. Helm of Awakening's a little dicey, although we are trying to maybe reduce these to 0, which I think is kind of cool. This makes a 2/2 Greatsword. We literally just added 2 seconds ago. Sword, Talisman, Boots for unblockability. Forebear's Blade, buffs. Oh, we gotta have Sunforger. We gotta have Sunforger. Sunforger's awesome. Ooh, yeah. I do like Sword. This Sword I think is pretty good in white decks and white-red decks. Light and Shadow, a little iffy, but Sword of Truth and Justice, I hate Sword of Truth and Justice personally. It just never seems to do anything. Not just for me, because I haven't really played the card much, but I've never really seen it do anything in a game, like, ever. That's just what I've seen. I haven't seen much. Like, the card leaves a lot to be desired, I think. Especially since we don't even have anything to proliferate. Our removal suite looks pretty good. But I will throw you a bone. Shoutouts to Mia for this one. This Unexplained Absence card kind of slaps. From the new set. For each person, you get to exile a non-land permanent. So it's a 3-for-1. And you can exile one of your equipment if you need a blocker, but you don't have to. So it's a 3-for-1. They exile, they don't come back, and they just get a stupid 2-2. Like, okay. Card's sick. Angel, thank you for the super chat. Let me write you down before I forget. Angel, coming in clutch. Appreciate you. Just make sure you send that email, and you're in the queue. You're in the queue. Up to 80 viewers. Wow. I wonder if I can hit 100 without Mia. It might not. It might be a tall order. Another card I'm really not stoked about, especially since it has nothing to do with equipment, is Deflecting Palm. Yeah, it's a Sunforger card, but I think it's so niche that I'm not a big fan. I'm really not. I think that's 4 cuts. Trash for Treasure might be like my next cut, because it's like you needed equipment to die. I don't really know how we're getting them in the graveyard. I like to have like a reliable way to do that myself and not just assume that someone's going to kill it. So I might just trim this as the last one. And the same idea as like Mantle of the Ancients. So we need to add a cut, or we need to add an ad. Let's look at equipments. Let's see what we haven't added yet. Yeah, let's not sort by mana value. Not for equipment. So I think you had all these top 4, the bangers. Hearth and Home is another way to ramp. There's not. What do we got for ETBs? We got like Night of the White Orchid's doesn't really count. Skyclave. There's potentially the Quicksmith Genius if we flicker an artifact. This guy. Not great. Flickering. Oathbreaker. Me and Mia are thinking about streaming Oathbreaker. I don't know if that's something people are interested in, but we're throwing around the idea. I did build an Obnixilis deck on a whim the other day. Obnixilis, the adversary, the red-black one. Embercleave? We got an Embercleave in here? Embercleave is savage. That's gotta be our last ad. That's like the hardest hitting equipment there is. This one is just, it gets you dead so fast. Plus, when we use Nahiri, it has flash. So if she hits an Embercleave off of this ability, if we attack with like 4 equipped creatures, we just get to impulse 4 times. If any one of them is Embercleave, we can cast it right away for free and then auto attach it. Lion Sash would be another good ad. This was a 5 changer, so we've met that. I just think I had to get in SRAM and Pure Steel, and then Unexplained Absence just so happened to switch out for Deflecting Palm because, even in Sunforger, I'm not a fan. But yeah, Nazan's Hammer, Regicide, if you're around, listen to these suggestions because they are pretty good as future possible upgrades for you. Okay, now that we're in the swing of things, we can go to Adam White. This is going to be an absolute banger. All right, let's see. All right, I'm ignoring your first email as per your request, and I'm opening this other one. Sick. All right. Did this work? Did we do it? Oh, we did it. We absolutely freaking did it. Julian, thanks for the super chat. We really appreciate that. Me and all the cats that I'm trying to put through college. Thank you so much. I'm writing you down and you're in the queue. Just make sure you send that email to the email that I put. That is the only instruction. I'm just checking to see on emails how we're looking. I think some of you folks still need to send an email to me, actually. So I got Adams, obviously. And then I think we still need Angels. And I think Julian, obviously, you just super chatted like 8 seconds ago. But I think we were also going to need yours in order to get you done when the, but you got a hot second because we got to make 25 changes to Adam's deck because Adam is the most generous person in the entire universe, quite frankly. Okay, 25 changes. Let's hunker down. Reki says whenever you play a legendary spell, draw a card. That is very simple. So this deck's probably just got 87 million legendary permanents in it. Just like all the bangers. Let's go. The first thing we should probably do is just go to Commander Green and then type legendary to see. Oh, okay. We don't want lands. Chill out. Chill out, Scryfall. And then we'll just see. We'll see what we see. So I see Into the North, Nature's Lore, 3 visits. But we are missing, not to be that guy, we are missing the Holy Trinity. Skyshroud Claim is not here. Noted. We'll note that. But the first thing we might want to do is to make some cuts before we add all these. I got worried that there was only like 6 lands, but there's 30 snow-covered forests. I got to duplicate this deck too. All legends, baby. Except for a few non-legends. Baby. Longest deck title ever. You're welcome. Big super chats get you a long deck title. Plain and simple. That is now a rule. All right, Emerald Medallion. Yeah, these are cards to consider, but they're honestly just in my way right now. We'll have time to consider everything. You do have a lot of the best removal for green. I will give you that. Garrick's Uprising. That's a card that to me strikes me as a definite cut. I don't love doubling our stuff. And we're gonna have to make some room for all these sick ads that I'm gonna throw in. If you would draw a card, you draw it twice. Yeah, I see what that does. I get it. Let's just take a peek at some of our legendary options. Eric says, question, what's going to happen if this individual has redefined the meta, created the perfect deck, and needs no changes? That would be a first. You know, I haven't really experienced that. But if that happens, we'll just hang out. We'll just hang out for a minute then. Thanks, Angel. I just got it in, so we're Gucci on there. BZ, I've upgraded my Will Help deck from last night. Can you give it a quick showcase? You don't need to make any changes. It's not that I won't showcase it. If you wanted to throw a super chat, I could do that. But we're keeping it to super chats only for streams. But yeah, I don't have to like... I won't change anything if you don't want me to. Both of them are good for creature cheapening and trample. Yeah, Nylea. I actually don't like the original one, Nylea. Is that in here? Yeah, I'll probably cut this thing. I don't love just giving trample. We'll see what our options are. I gotta just search creature. I mean, there's obviously a million green legends, but... Richard Thomas, how much? 10? We're not doing a... I don't want to do this consistently, but... Because like we have streams that are like deck showcases where we do exactly this, but I don't know. We haven't really figured out that... 10? I'd say 10. Just on the fly. Just throwing numbers out. Invasion is not legendary. Is a legend on the back? Aha. So it's probably tough getting all these legends to synergize. But I do notice we don't have Shigeki, and I think Shigeki is amazing. It's ramp, it's recursion, and I'm just now realizing it's terrible. So never mind. Don't even think about what I just said, because Shigeki doesn't make any sense at all. And you never saw me recommend that one. Thank you, Richard. I will get you in, and I'll make sure to write down that it's just a showcase. Richard. I do appreciate that. Definitely helps out the channel. Okay. Now we're back to this. Silvos, seems a little overcosted to me, honestly. John wants to be added to the freaking queue because John just sent us super chat for Deck Audit. Thanks, John. I'm writing you down right now. You have officially supported the channel and will officially be in the queue. Okay, so I think what I got to do is run through this and cut the cards that I think are not great. The Tarask, a little expensive, little pricey. Yorvo, mostly vanilla stats. Dosen. Dosen is interesting. I don't know if I like this effect because, you know, if other people are trying to do stuff and other people who aren't you have answers to it, it might mess you up. So I don't know. I'll trim it for now. I can always put it back. Jamie McCrimmon. Cast a historic spell. He gets bonused, buffed. Can't argue with that. Dosen is an Ombo with Yeva. It's a good thing I already cut it before even noticing Yeva was in this deck. I'm such a genius. So snakes. Wait, shamans tap for green. I guess that's cool. Our commander's a shaman. Questing beast. I'm gonna trim these subpar legends until like I know that there's not anything better out there. John is throwing down 30 for the super chat. Let me another John. Got a couple Johns today. This is John with an H. Thank you so much. Yeah, all these super chats go a great way to helping the channel, keep the lights on, and it gets your deck audited. Play first and foremost, your deck's gonna get audited. Make no mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got about 8 in the queue right now. I think if we get to the 10 mark, I might slow it down just because I'm only one person. It's harder to keep track, but we'll see. We shall see. Mox Amber, Oath of Nissa. I'm not the biggest Carpet fan. That's definitely a card I'm just going to cut. Same with Lignify. Honestly, I'll just trim Tribute as well. Oh my god, what is happening? Wreck-It Ralph is adding. Oh, I see. Okay. All right, Wreck-It, I got you. Thanks, Wreck-It Ralph, for that. I'm not going to move you in queue. I'm just going to edit the number and the number of changes you want. Thank you, sir. You're still in our walls. I appreciate that. And then Maxine throwing down. Would love some opinions on my new Golgari brew. Well, let me write you down. Oh, that's Maxime with an M. Maxime. Okay. All right. Let me get this going here. Okay. Well, that was basically what I just said. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. So now we have 9 in the queue. Okay. We're still not at that moment. I think I have time for one more. This isn't going to be the world's longest stream. Stay on by myself, but I'll see what can happen. Just call me Max. You are officially Max. I'm crossing off every other letter. Max it is. If the queue is getting super long, I don't mind being taken out of it in order to ensure. No. It's not that. It's not that. It's just that. Just the fact that I'm doing. It's not that you're in the queue. It's just that we have 10 in the queue, and I want to make sure that I can get through everything. It starts to get a little dicey of like, how long does 10 things take? I don't really know. Angel says you can update me to 10 changes as well. I will do that. Angel's got the. Apparently, Wreck-It Ralph is starting this new thing where you update it, and we appreciate this super chat just as much as the other one. Thanks so much. I am also updating your numbers. This sheet is looking very, very dicey, but I do appreciate it. It's well worth my time to update this. Let's get this going. Thank you very much. Okay. Back to this deck. Oh my god. Octoghost says, thanks for leveling up my game, Nitpicking. Hey, thank you. Thanks for the tip. That's going right to Miso, I think. Miso is going to need a new box of number 2 pencils for his college courses. He's still working on those 101 classes. That's going to help. That's going to go a long way. Hi, what commander are you doing? This is Reki. We are currently upgrading. This is a big upgrade from a very generous person. We're upgrading Reki. We're going to make about 25 changes to this thing and see how dope we can make it. Richard Thomas, do I need to resend my list? Look, honestly, I'm not even sure. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 emails and 9 submissions, so honestly it wouldn't hurt to resend it, but I won't be able to know that until after this. Like Mia is usually the person who checks this, so that's kind of why I don't want the queue to get too hectic, because I can't look at the emails as you're sending them. I have to evaluate them as your deck comes up. So we're gonna cut a couple of these other vanilla stats, unless I can find something better, but we'll see. So we're gonna trim these. Kamal's is good. Honestly, if I don't change this art, it's gonna bother me. So let's get these white borders out of here. That's a lot better. Okay, Time of needs a tutor. Oh, harmonize. I don't think we need harmonize, especially when our commander is like draw a bajillion. Same with Eye of Vecna. Get that out of here. Iron Crag. I have to imagine we can ramp better than this. But again, I'm going to just cut it. You know what? I'm going with my gut. And then I think Alheimrat's Archive is a little bit win more, since we don't need that many cards. We don't need 1 trillion cards. We just need 1 million. I want to look up lands, too, because I'm assuming there's lands we can put in this deck. That would help upgrade it. I don't know how I want to word that search term exactly, but yeah, it looks like there's room for improvements here. Ooh, a couple more chats to read. Play a Sakura Tribal Elder over Ironcrag. Well, that is normally how I feel, but the little wrinkle in that is that Reki is our commander, so whenever we cast a legendary spell, we draw a card. So it's a little bit of a bonus. Mono green lands, mono green big creatures. Jim says, hi, Jim. We're doing some deck audits today. All right, let me see what kind of lands we can fit in here. I mean, I know Boseiju comes to mind already. Maybe the rest of our upgrades can be lands. So 80. Let's see. We erroneously added and then subtracted Shigeki. So that does not count. Which means we go down to 75. We could probably make 4 land changes. 1, 3, and 4. Let's see what lands we can find. I bet there's some good lands for us. Oh, Mosswort Bridge. I think Mosswort Bridge, kind of a free roll in these mono green decks. Especially ones that aren't trying to go, super, super fast. It's basically a guaranteed... It's a guaranteed draw, because whatever you cast is probably going to be legendary, too. I'm also looking at MDFCs, and I'm noticing we're a little bit lacking. So let me trim a couple more lands. Get Balagad Recovery in here, in place of a land, not in place of a spell. And turn Timber Symbiosis as well. Okay. So now I don't want to short you, so we'll cut a land so that now I just need to add cards to the deck. Those were our cuts. We've established our cuts for Adam. Angel says, P.S. My deck's name, which we'll get to, is Salt Dispenser. My friends deserve it. Fair enough. We will help dispense the salt. Palmer's got the right idea. Get this man a Field of the Dead package. I don't have enough changes to do that, but, something to consider. It's something to consider. Let's see what lands we can add. I know there's some, like Demolition Field. I do like having a little bit of land destruction. And Demolition Field's kind of just perfect. I haven't loved Ghost Quarter, and I hate Field of Ruin, but this is like exactly what I want. This is exactly the perfect middle ground. I did also look at Command Beacon. That could help us recast our commander. That's pretty important. 34. So I probably want to get like 2 more lands in here. What other lands could we find? Miso's literally clawing at the door. Just trying to get in. He wants to do some audits. Let me let him in. I'll let him in. He just came running. You guys saw that. Let's get some hello from Miso in the chat. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come up here. For this little man. Look at how small this little man is. He wanted to see what we were all doing. Everyone say hi to Miso. Miso, say hi to chat. There he is. Yeah, we do have 2 cats. This is the other one. This is the one that needs to buy those number 2 pencils. He's never even been to college. Oh, buddy me, so you can't eat the pen. He's got problems. He's got some problems. Yeah, hi buddy. Yep, saying hi is one thing. You don't need to dominate the stream, sir. He's just purring. He's loving life right now. Oh, Tangled Florahedron could be another MDFC that we want. Let's keep looking. Oh, you know what? We care all about legendaries, so why wouldn't we just play the Shire? Basically guaranteed to enter untapped. And they can just poop out some food if we're low on life total. Kind of just a better forest, if you ask me. Oh, and then I mentioned Boseiju, and I never put it in because I'm a fool. That's like definitely a mono green staple. Kind of getting up there in price, though. Sheesh. Ooh, Jamie says, honest question, Beezy at Nitpicking Nerds. What do you think the right budget for a deck is as to not overpowered nor CDH? I would say this is actually a tough question to answer, but funnily enough, I do have an answer. I have loved $50 decks feel like they can compete with basically anything, to the point where, we used to say, oh, I'm playing a $50 budget deck in Rule 0, but now we just don't, because the decks can pretty much hang with whatever. As long as you're not playing CDH, they can at least hang with most decks. So I've liked 50. I don't even need to go to 200. I don't think I've built a deck with a $200 budget yet. 50 dodges all the like very uninteresting staples to me, like Ristic and Craterhoof and all that stuff. Whereas if I built a $200 deck, I don't even know if that wouldn't be that much differentiable between just regular decks at that point. Okay, so we've added the lands. We need to add legendary creatures. Let's find some legendary boys to go with our legendary lad. Miso's actually just laying. I'm going to try to show you this. Miso's helping out. Look at this little guy. He's got his paws on the papers. He's a regular little workman. Hi, buddy. Miso's derailing this entire stream, and that's okay. Yeah, Miso's on the desk with his little papers. In a $50 deck, are there $5 and $10 cards? No. I don't really go above like $3 or $4 in a $50 deck. You could make it top heavy. I do have a deck that's $50. It's got like Skull Clamp, Cabal Stronghold, Bolas' Citadel. Like it's got like 3 or 4 cards, and then a lot of cards that are useless. What do you want? He's just a camera hog. He's just trying to be on camera, dude. This is my show. Go back to your papers. Yeah, exactly. Go back to the papers. Do we have Gwenna in here? Gwenna's really good ramp. Yeah, I'm a little worried that like our curve doesn't start very high. I like the concept of having cheap legendary creatures to cantrip off of quickly. Let's sort by mana value. Miso, you're falling, dude. Mrs. Pashiri could work. Graham, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you have food. Well, that's not very good, Graham. Why don't you get out of here? Are you still accepting audits? Yeah, Crazy Man, we're still accepting audits. I think I can handle 1 or 2 more in this queue. I should be able to. Joel Riel. I think Joel Riel is kind of perfect because we're going to draw. Like, we're going to be able to draw a second card off of her. And then if we keep spamming stuff with Reki, our hand will be full, and then we can just make our dudes like 7/7s. So it's kind of like a win condition. Oh, how about Rafellos? What a good card. I actually just like Susan Foreman as a mana dork. Who cares what else she does? Forget it. It's a mana dork. It's a way to ramp. I'm in for that. Galanra is also ramp. And I don't see that in here. We can maybe get up to some bigger creatures. We have at least 7 down here that'll trigger her. Oh, and we only have one Planeswalker in the deck. Maybe there's some other Planeswalkers worth considering. I will look at that right after these creatures. Marwyn. Nissa makes mana. She's not awful. She might be good. Yeah, I just think this deck, since we have a 3-mana commander, I think it's going to be worth it to get some more mana dorks. I don't know how many you want, but I would probably play at least 2 more. What would be the next best one to add? I don't know. I'll just add Elvish Mystic for now. But you really do want to get Reki out. Plus, these cards still have synergy with like Great Henge and Guardian Project. All right, let's keep looking. Let's keep looking for Legends. Rishkar? Do we have our boy Rishkar in here? We have a lot of 3-drops at ramp. Maybe we don't need Rishkar. How do you submit a deck? There is an email, but there are super chat values. Once you send a super chat of that value, you simply send your deck list, hopefully in Moxfield, to this pinned. There's a pinned message in chat, which is the email you need to send it to. I can also copy it, probably. Okay, I cannot copy it very easily, so I just won't. But yeah, it's above my face, and it is also in the chat. How do you submit a deck? Yeah, that's pretty sure I just read the same question twice, so awkward. Okay, we're looking for more legendary boys and girls to power up this deck. Radagast. Look at the top X, where X is the creature's mana value. You can reveal a creature that doesn't share a type with it. Okay. And put it into your hands. A little bit of card draw. How do our types look? On Moxfield, we can just check very easily. And actually, Moxfield makes me think of Card Kingdom, which is a sponsor of this channel. Even though Mia's not here, still sponsored. We love Card Kingdom. They're amazing. Let's not get that twisted. They've got super simple website. We checked it out. Easy to navigate. If I want to search for a card, the search bar is right there. If I wanted to go to somebody's page, you know, like the professor has his own page. You can scroll down, see what the professor likes, and then you can scoop up some cards. Just wanted to remind you that Card Kingdom, actually an amazing website, and you should definitely consider using them in the future. But back to the deck. I was looking at Radagast, and I was looking at our types for our boy. Literally the most types we have is 6 at a druid, and I bet that's because of this Elvish Mystic. So let's get Radagast in here. Another cheap legend. I'm sure there'll be no shortage of like really expensive ones, so I'm trying to load up on cheapies. Billy says, just discovered your channel a couple months ago. I love your videos and have learned a lot to help me catch up with my group. That's so cool to hear, dude. Keep it up. Thank you. You keep it up because you're nice. Great to have you in stream. Ooh, Emissary Green. Kind of a cool dude, too. Crazy man coming in with the super chat. Let me write you down. Ooh, gonna have to go to the back of the page this time. Thank you so much for the super chats. They are going to help send Miso to college. And Amber. I think what I'm going to do now, just because I'm not sure, like this is a big audit, so once this audit is done, they'll move quicker because there's less changes to make. But I will, let me hide this for now and say that the queue is currently full. So I will not be accepting any further super chats for audits. Gotta just wait till this queue's done. I'll see how time's looking, but since it's just me, I imagine this might, this might take me at least another hour to get through. All right, so green sleeves, not really interested in that. Vorinclex is cool. I like my boy Vorinclex. Maybe some other monsters. Are there other monsters at the top of the curve? Zuladoc, no thank you. Galta, we already have that. Big Vorinclex, maybe. And then there are some Eldrazi. That is something that we could go for. Let me see. Maybe not. We've got 30 creatures in our deck. That's a decent chunk. It is absolutely a decent chunk. Miso, quit hopping around, dude. You look like a clown. There's like Psycho or Sakiko who can give us a bunch of mana, which we can then use to make that. But we do have Old Gnawbone. It's like the same thing. But better, obviously. Oh, you want out Miso? Just give me a second. I got a stupid cat to deal with. I think, yeah, someone in chat said Ulamog is removable. Ulamog is, and I think I'm going to add it. Ceaseless Hunger. I don't think this card's even like unfun or anything. I think it's just a good card. All right, let's go back. Let's go back one step and check some of these mid-tier commanders. Maybe we had one or two more. God Eternal Ronus is like a little bit of a doubler. Do we have him? I don't see him. That could be good. It's not... This isn't a card I normally play, but I think since we've got the legend theme and we want to pump up our dudes, this deck does have Time of Need, actually. It's right here. So I want to look up Planeswalkers now. See if any of these strike our fancy. Well, there's already a couple that I'm looking at, and I'm not opposed to some of these. I think Vivian, Monster's Advocate, is good. I do also love this art. That's a really sick art. Ooh, Nissa. I mean, basically just Craterhoof Behemoth. In this deck, it's like Craterhoof. I won't add too many because Planeswalkers are kind of crummy, but we do have that synergy for when we cast them, so I wanted to add at least one. Ugin might be the last one I would look at. I think since green has so much trouble with board wipes, I would add Ugin. You're not thrilled to use his minus. You know what? Let's not add Ugin. Let's add Azuri's Predation. I know it's not a legend, but it's kind of a silly card, and it won't mess up your things. Dixon, I got here too late. That's okay, dude. There's plenty of these streams. This is the second one we've done this week of just deck audits, so there'll be more to come. No worries there. Don't worry about it. I'm sure we will meet again. All right, I did mention wanting to add Skyshroud Claim. Do I still want to do that? Possibly. Possibly. I'm going to table that again. Let's try artifacts now. Are there any artifacts Adam has missed or that we think are great? Shadow Spear. I like Shadow Spear in this. Gain some life, push through some damage, and you can trigger Reki for just 1 mana. No, thanks to you, Adam. Seriously, that was super generous. I really appreciate it. Made my day. You're making our day. All right. Okay. Palantir I don't love. Chariot, these are just kind of whatever. These artifacts are not speaking to me, chat. They are not. Ooh, actually, Stone of Eric. I like that one a lot. This card destroys everyone whose name is Beezy, who plays with the graveyard. It's just like a complete... It's not a complete hoser, but it just totally messes with all your opponents. I guarantee you're going to mess with people. And you just cash it in for a card. Plus, you cast it for 1, you just get a card back. No Soul Ring, question mark. I guess there is no Soul Ring in here. I can only assume that's intentional. Honestly, bonus points for having no Soul Ring. Because like when someone sits down and they're like, hey, this is my Reki deck. I got all legends. It's like, oh, that's super sick. That's super cool. And they're just like, Soul Ring. I'm like, oh, okay. Guess I'll just play against Soul Ring. Chris, what's up? Chris says, hey, Breezy. That's my name. Certainly no other letters to remove or add there. Eric says, hearing my name randomly certainly took me away from my desk for a second. Turns out it's spelled Eric. Ah, gotcha. I just clickbaited you so hard. Got him. I would say Helm of the Host is cool, but it's a little janky. We're already on the legendary sub-theme. Are there legendary enchantments that we could add? Maybe a few. I think you already have growing rights, right? Yeah. Question mark? Oh, no. Well, guess what? This is apparently a legendary enchantment. Get in my deck. Get in. Awesome. Yeah, it turns out the legendary enchantments are sparse. They are sparse. Is the One Ring too generic? I mean, it's legendary. You know, how much... yeah, Alter Ideas, Stone of Eric, exactly. I don't think One Ring is... I mean, it is sort of Soul Ring-esque, and then it's really good and kind of gross, but it's a legend. At least it's legendary. If Soul Ring was legendary, I could not hate on it being in this deck. Yeah, so these enchantments kind of suck. I might just want to add bread and butter stuff for you, just to get some more interaction, removal. Let's just try to find some good green instants. We're going through like every type of green card. Nature's Claim. So we have Claim and Beast Within. Those are like the two best ones. Veil of Summer is an option since Reki's going to be a high value punchable man. You did beat me to it, Richard. I got to give you that. Fair is fair. You beat me to it. We could add a fog. I'm not like super opposed, but you know? What if we search Oracle Legendary? What if we found some other cards that maybe aren't legendary but care about that sort of thing? Like Relic of Legends, tap an untapped legend and make a mana? I know, a mana rock in a green deck, can you believe it? But that seems dope. Alright, Miso. This cat. It's the worst cat. I found him. He's the worst cat. Yeah, Relic of Legends, you actually crushed us with that in the one game. It's on our Patreon, actually. If you wanted to join our exclusive Patreon, you can watch our editor destroy us with Relic of Legends. Oh, and then Honor Worn Shaku, obviously, is like the same thing. Of course we want that. We can even untap legendary enchantments for this one. Powers up things like Kamal's Druidic Vow. That's for sure. Myriad, okay. Some of these are not ideal. Although there is Bessie. Bessie can make one of our big monsters unblockable. And it is legendary. Yeah, okay. Apparently this deck is all artifacts now. Let's get Bessie in there. And then as the last one, I think, I did talk about this, so let's get Skyshroud Claim in. Now your deck's just ramping to the moon. And when your commander draws cards, ramping into the moon is great. You're never going to run out of gas. What's good, Beezy? What's good? Everything's good because we're auditing decks. I was going to say what's up, not much auditing decks, but I don't know how to talk to people, so. Okay, this one is done. Adam, thank you so much. This was a blast. Reki's sweet. And please get this specific art for Vivian. Now, we're going to go to Mr. B. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky because now I got like 100 emails and I got to go through them. But I will try. All right. I'm assuming these are sent in order. But at the same time, I'm going to probably have to ask to just confirm. Here, I'm going to do that right now. If you sent in a super chat, just go ahead and reply to that email that you already sent me with your YouTube name. So I can make sure that because like everybody has different usernames, so it's kind of hard to tell. I want to make sure I'm doing like the correct number of changes to these. So I will be responding to these if I don't know Yeah, if I don't know your name. Like, I have some of these. Like, Julian, you're good. I got you. Angel, you're good. Wreck-It Ralph, you're in my walls. Some of these names are the same. John, both Johns are good. Richard, you're good. And then I think, right, I even got this one too. Oh, sorry, Octoghost. Yeah, I still do appreciate it. Yeah, definitely get us next time, and that'll work. Let me just change this. So yeah, I think I just need to figure out between Mr. B and, well, maybe we're good. I think I might have one extra email in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, okay. So yeah, Mr. B, make sure you just send me that email just confirming, just so I know which deck is yours. Or I guess you can just tell me in chat if you're still here, which deck was yours. I think there might be an imposter in my email list, so I want to make sure that, obviously, we're not doing that. What are the stipulations? Currently, there are no stipulations. I'm just trying to run through the queue of what we already have. So people have already submitted, and I'm going to run through this queue. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 people in the queue. So we're going to go through that. But yeah, let's see. Oh, Wreck-It Ralph, I just got your alternate email. I'm gonna delete it so that it'll never be seen by anyone. Okay, so now I see the problem. I see the problem is one of the people who in the chat has not sent me an email. It looks like, because I have 9 people in the queue, but I only have 8 emails. Mr. B, send me the email. I will try. If I don't hear from you in the next minute, I'm just going to move to the next person in the queue. You'll still get it, but I'll have to do some weird process of elimination thing just so I know which one's yours. But yeah, make sure to hit me up with that. Do nothing? No, it's people who have already sent it. It's sort of like if you know, you know at this point. But yeah, we will move to Wreck-It Ralph, who's in my walls. In my walls as we speak. I'm going to No, you don't have to no, Mr. B, you don't have to be taken out of the queue. No. No, I just need to know your thing. I'm not overwhelmed by the queue at all. Just let me know in the email what your, just like basically sign one of the emails as Mr. B so I know that I'm doing your thing next. Hey, you signed up for this. I'd love to get it to you. Because I'm looking at it right now, So like you were nice enough to super chat. The least we can do is follow through with this deck audit, I could take a stretch water break, but yeah, just update the email. That's all. No inconvenience on our part. Let's see. Maybe I can figure it out just based on... Aha! Never mind. I found you. You see, folks, it's all in the Moxfield. That gives away the YouTube username. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go to Mr. B's deck next, because I found it. Nice try, Mr. B. You're getting audited whether you like it or not. All right. We got Preston the Vanisher. Okay, perfect. Preston the Vanisher. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, you create a copy of it, but it's a 0/1 illusion, and then you can pay 2 mana and sacrifice 300,000 illusions and exile target non-land permanent. It looks like I see Felidar Guardian, so we might be trying to go infinite. We might be spicing it up. Roving Harper, drawing cards, the Goodest of Boys, the Wall of Omens, all the cantrips. They're all here. I think Combat Thresher is funny because when you flicker it, it's a 3/3. Thanks, Octoghost. I appreciate that. Wow, that's actually awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. John says, a commander I've been thinking about. Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a spicy one. A lot of white decks today, you know? People liking the white. Okay. We'll get into this. We got 10 changes to make. We're going to keep moving. Adam's colossal audit is done. And we're going to continue. Okay, 34 lands. We got 2.78. Well, the very least I can do is cut Temple of the False God. That's not even really a land. I will trim that. And I think the easiest add for me to smooth up the mana base has got to be Amiria's Call. It's got to be. Now, instead of Temple of the False God, you have 2 4/4 angels. They're basically good on the same turn. They're as good on the same turn. So we want all these things that like flicker and bring the stuff back so Preston sees it. There's a lot of these flickers. Aether Vial? I think Aether Vial is a little slow. I would trim Aether Vial. I notice you have a few rocks, but what's stopping us from going even bigger? Like for ramp. You know, I don't see Knight of the White Orchid. That's a really good one. You've got these other two. Knight is very good ramp. I would have to suggest it. Telepathy? Really, Purple Pros? Telepathy? If you play Probe, you might draw into a land and you basically decrease your deck size. Probe is good in a combo deck, not in a general deck. I don't know. I'm a pretty big Probe fan. I think you could put it in basically any deck and it would not make your deck worse. But it's not going to do anything for like synergy. Most of the time. All right, we got Resto. We got, what the heck is this thing? For each opponent, okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Fiend Hunter fan, but you are going to spam it like crazy with your boy Preston. Remove all creatures, return them. This is Value City. This is absolute Value City. This is like so much value, it's scary. Next, end step. This one just returns it right away. So does this one. Tokens. Let's go with Preston. Ashnod's Altar is probably some combo stuff. I would probably trim Touch the Spirit Realm. It does do what Preston wants, but I think the front side is so bad. I'm just not interested in playing Oblivion Rings. And I think you maybe want another land, so let me just do that now. Let me get another MDFC. This way you don't have to have the feeling of drawing lands, so you can just have spells. Oh, don't get me started on Street Wraith. I love Street Wraith. It's the same thing. It's not even a card in your deck. Same with Mishra's Bauble. They're not cards in your deck. I want to just play blue. I guess I have a blue-black deck that plays all 4 of those cards. So that shows you how I think. This Recommission and Helping Hand and Against All Odds even, I don't love it. It feels like we're going to be struggling to make this work. And in the early game, these are kind of dead in our hand. So I would certainly want to trim those, maybe just for more ETBs, honestly. Or just for, like, better reanimation as another option. These are really good board wipes. That's kind of funny. Oh, and we're not going to need lay down arms. It's the way I see it is like as worse than swords, worse than path. And I'd rather have an instant. We can get another instant speed thing to do. So I've added 3, so that's 93. So I need 3 more cuts. Let me do that first so I don't get distracted. Slip on the ring. I don't know. How many of these 2-mana flickers is too many? Yeah, they do. They do kickstart the Prestoning. Oh, and we're roaming throne to name Rabbit? Oh, no, we're naming Wizard. Boo! I wanted to name Rabbit. I'm not sure I agree with that hybrid thing. I don't have a problem with hybrids not being allowed. That's me. That's just me. Are there any, like, super mega premium ETBs you're missing? You have like all the good ones. I doubt you're missing anything. But I'm just going to give it a quick once over. I guess you don't really have like the really cheap ones. Like Thraben Inspector could be good. Maybe even Soul's Attendant. I don't know. Do we have Skull Clamp in here? We do have Skull Clamp in here. Stoneforge could be a move. Loyal Warhound. Angel of the Ruins. Maybe Angel of the Ruins could be good. You sort of had some cards that you wanted to like reanimate. I guess they're there because that triggers Preston. I like the concept. I just don't think this deck will be able to bring anything, like, to be able to bring much back. What if we did like Late to Dinner? That just brings back anything. And then you could do like Angel of the Ruins as a card that like puts itself in the graveyard to be brought back more easily, possibly even with good artwork. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. I never cut those cards that I said I was going to cut. All right. Let me actually do that. Foragers, Militia, Bugler. It only gets creatures with power 2 or less. How many of those do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. That misses 14 creatures. So we only have 18 hits. I would probably trim this. Late to Dinner. Teleportation Circle. You could probably combo with Nim Deathmantle. You wouldn't even have to add anything. You already have Ashnod's Altar, and you already have creatures that like do stuff when they enter. So with Preston, you could definitely combo, and it seems like you already have combos, so something to consider. I might add it. I don't know. I just don't know. Stop recommending Delny. It hasn't even officially released yet. I wasn't gonna recommend Delny because I forgot about it, but I'm glad that I wasn't a part of that. Your removal. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 primo instant speed removals plus flickering. Plus flickering creatures is still removal. You've got some of the best ones in here. Lauren, Skyclave, now Angel, Solitude. You got no problem doing that. Maybe Roving Harper can go. I think I'd rather just have Thraben Inspector. Isn't it just better than Roving Harper? And like, or is it? No, maybe not, because you want the second copy to draw 2, whereas making 2 clues is a little slow. Rumor Gatherer could be sweet though. Preston triggers it every time. And you have all those instants to draw cards on other people's turns. Kind of spicy. Kind of spicy if you ask me. There's a Miria Shepherd, which does trigger Preston. Tutoring Auras, there's no point to that. Angel of Serenity. Maybe. White Mane Lion. Oh, I love Aerial Extortionist. That thing has been an absolute house every time I've seen it. It draws you cards, it removes their things. You still have flicker synergies. It even works when you just hit them. Extortionist does a lot. All right, let me double check because I can never remember. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 2 more cuts here. Not really sure I like the Wanderer. I guess she does blink, but I don't think we need it. Maybe it's just like a slightly, she can survive. I think it's likely that she doesn't survive after a board wipe, after she -4s, because there's so many opponents. Aerial Extortionist, absolutely goated. Yeah, if she was there for the board wipe, I'm not sure if we need that kind of thing. You have 2 wipes, and you're a heavy creature deck that has a lot of removal. I might trim it. That's what my gut says. Distinguished Conjurer. Yeah, Distinguished Conjurer can be alright if we got a bunch of mana. Then I guess I'm looking at Bronzebeak. A little iffy on this one. It is a new card. Yeah, I think I'll just trim this thing. I like Aerial Extortionist better. And then we need 3 more ads. 3 more ads for our boy Preston. I wonder if we can get some Enter's Draw. And we did get that with Rumor Gatherer. Circuit Mender, maybe that's one we missed. Circuit Mender wants you to flicker it all day long. And then even when you use the illusion version of it to sacrifice to the Preston's ability, you still get a card. Early plays are definitely key for this. Oxdrover. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates a 2/4 and you draw. I don't know. It is a combo kill with Suture Priest. And if you go infinite. Does that help? Errand Rider of Gondor. Draw a card. Then if you don't control a legendary creature. But we are going to probably have this one, I would assume. Maybe. I'll keep it in mind. Any instants that we're missing? They do have the dog. Do they have Fiend Hunter or Leonin Relic Warder for Flicker? They have Fiend Hunter. I saw that earlier somewhere, right? No? No. They do not have Fiend Hunter. Fiend Hunter, specifically with flickering and sacrificing, does combo pretty well. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Let's do Fiend Hunter, but then let's add another sack outlet. Maybe Phyrexian Altar for more mana. I could see that working. Do they have Staff with a Storyteller? They don't. I honestly don't think they're going to need it just because of this. There's so much value. Even the stupid 3-mana 2/2 draw card is like big value. Hey, Insane Goon, what's up? Mia's not here today. It's just me. Mia is MIA. That's the third time I've said that, and I still don't regret it. Do they have Takasia's Welcome? That's more card draw. Again, I'm not 100% sure they need it. I think the last thing I want to do is another win con. We can get Nem Death Mantle in there, and that'll be good. That wins games easy, especially with Astronaut's Altar, Preston, you name it. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Mr. B. Appreciate the super chat again. And now we're going to move to Mr. Wreck-It Ralph in my walls himself. Thanks to whoever just followed me on Moxfield. That's funny. All right. Let's go to Ralph, who's going to wreck it, I presume. Can already feel my voice like, oops. Can already feel my voice weakening. Could be a throat spray day. But I will try to move through these. Won't waste too much of your guys' time. I could certainly talk about Magic all day. Okay, time for Faldorn. I do know a thing or two about Faldorn decks, so this might be an easier one to do. Yeah, thanks, Mr. B. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. We want Impulse Draw, and we want Ramp. And that's literally all this deck needs to be, is just a million Ramp spells and a million Impulse Draw spells. So we got 10 changes to make, so let me duplicate this. Let's have a really unhinged name to this deck, so that anyone reading it is concerned for my safety. All right, Explorer, kind of a fillery card. It's one of the ones that I know to cut from these types of decks. I don't think we have to go to Reap the Past to get things back. It is a nice like chaotic card, but I don't think it's a very consistent card. Terramorph is like secret tech for this deck. Terramorph is good. Call forth a bunch of stuff, you know. I noticed no Nature's Lore. Heroic Intervention. Krosan Grip. I definitely am not a Krosan Grip fan, so I'm going to cut that. I'm also not a Chaos Wand fan. I think it takes way too much to make it happen, but I will add the strictly better, strictly more fun card. Wand of Wonder. It actually is going to hit things, and you're going to get more value out of it. It's what Chaos Wand wishes it was. Lands 33, looking a little slim on the lands, especially when a deck that just wants to. It's got 3.71 average mana value. So, is Noxious Revival good? It is. I don't even know the answer to that question, honestly. We're going to cut Doubling Season, though. It's not needed when you're just making tokens or when you're just doing counters. Doubling Season, you either want both or it's like Planeswalkers only. That's where I think of that card. Got a bunch of value enchantments here. Oh, Sandworm. Sandworm can go. I don't think that card wins games. It's a little slow. We are going to need, what, 4 more cuts? Let me get those 4 cuts now, because I do always forget. Oh, Vivian. She triggers Valdorn kind of, but she's a lot of investment. Is it Chemister? Grumgully? We don't have any combos of Grumgully, so it's just power and toughness. I'll get rid of it. Then I also see, let's see, Hollowhenge Overlord doubles your wolves. Okay. Tovalor draws off wolves, but I don't know if we need to do that. That seems like an extra hoop to jump through. Not so sure about our boy Tovalor. And then, wow, Sanctum Weaver. So we have like a little enchantment sub-theme kind of going on. I'm not going to cut that. Exile cards until you hit a land. Put it onto the battlefield. And then you exile this with 3 counters on it. I like the idea. It just feels like it's a little too slow. Lastly, one final trim, huh? Heroic Intervention is not my favorite card. Many people know this. But how about Curse of Opulence? No, I'll leave it just because you got that like Sanctum Weaver thing going on. I want to yuck your yum too much on that. Green Slime. Has anyone tested Green Slime? I've literally never tested this card. I heard people say it was broken, and now no one's talking about it. So I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, Mr. B, that's the other thing too. Is it works with Faldorn. So if you have a card that you really want, Faldorn just gets it for you. This guy says exile a creature. And then for as long as you can cast it, it is Undaunted. I don't know if I love this dude because he's got to attack. The setup is a little bit clunky. You got to sneak him through. And like, that's not our job, right? We're just trying to draw cards. It's like, chill out, guy from the Yawning Portal. So what am I seeing that I always play in these types of decks? I'll have to look. Let's find out. Do we have Mosswort Bridge? Because we do need lands. We do have Mosswort Bridge. So let me at least add one land to this deck because we're... Come on now. 33 is definitely too low. It's definitely too low. There's no mistaking that you need probably 2 more lands if I'm being honest, because you're still above that 3.5 mark. My little rule of thumb is like decks above 3.5 start to feel a little clunky. So for those decks, I want at least 35 lands. So let me find some lands. What are we missing? We got Game Trail, Cinderglade, Gruul Turf, Thicket. There's... What is the red-green Midnight Hunt land? That is Rockfall Vale. Do we have Rockfall Vale? Nope. Well, guess what? It's in. I need to improve your mana so you can cast your spells on time. And what's another not like super expensive one, but maybe Carplusion Forest? That should help you out. I will make sure this is not crusty. Get this out of my sight. Okay. We're going to finish off your 3 visits with Nature's Lore. And I might omit Skyshroud Claim this time just because you have a couple other options that are floating around. Something to consider. All right, let's go back to our search. Treasures. Oh, Burgy. Do you have Burgy in here? Burgy's completely nuts in this deck. I saw Joe. Joe has this deck, and I saw them just go off. Not the front side, the back side. Discard a card, Impulse Draw, and then you get more stuff from, yeah, Faldorn. It is nuts. I mean, Atali is obviously good. I'm not going to add it. You know Atali's good. That is very, very possibly something you already know. I just don't find it that fun. It's not that fun to me. I think you're missing some of these ones that are just kind of like middle of the road, like Reckless Impulse. I think the deck still wants... these cards. So I'll just add Reckless Impulse and Ren's Resolve. They just end up being like Night's Whispers for you. Yeah, just stacking this deck full of ramp and card draw is just the best. I think maybe you need a few more instants. Yeah, definitely more instants. Let's try to maybe round out the entire rest of this deck with instants. Are there any that synergize with what we want? Find some prisoners could be good. Adventure spells also work. What do you think, chat? Any instants that you love for Faldorn? Wreck-It Ralph says money is no object. All right. In that case, I'm adding Atali. Atali's stupid. I'll say it. Card's messed up. It's messed up. It's cracked. It wins games just by existing. It's a good question. How do we get our decks looked over by you? Normally there is a method for sending super chats, but the queue is closed right now while I catch up. I think I might end this off when I finish the queue. I got like 7 or so people left. But just catch us next time. The queue will be open. The queue is often open for over an hour when the stream starts. So you have plenty of time to like slide in, you know, hang out. and get in the queue. But right now, it is closed. I like you find some prisoners. It's interaction. All right. Maybe we don't want the word exile. Maybe that's like gumming up our search results. Valakut Awakening. Yeah. I'm definitely considering Valakut Awakening as a castable spell that can help maybe filter you through like these cultivates if you don't need them. And honestly, the mana, I think you were just a few, like you were definitely multiple lands short. So hopefully Wreck-It Ralph doesn't come out of my walls, but that's where I'm at with this deck. I like it. Next up is Angel. Angel, I have your email here. Boom. Oh, you're hitting me with the text. Let me copy it. I shall copy it over. It'll just take me a second. It's still better than a redacted deck list. All right, I will not be copying over the maybe board just to save a little time. Boop. Now I just need to pull it up. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. Feel free to like the stream if you're enjoying what you see so that we know to do more deck audits in the future. Copy. All right, so now I need to just make a new deck. Paste in list, bop, create. All right, this was an Avacyn deck if I recall correctly. And I think this was the Salt deck. There's an extra card, but it's just this thing, so I'm going to kill it. Okay. This was another 10 changer, so we will also get this going. I'm mixing you up with Mr. Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah, Mr. Kool-Aid breaks through your walls. I thought you were talking about somebody else on this list, and I was like, crap. No, I'm confusing you with another character who lives inside walls. Yeah, I was right. Without Mia, I'm definitely going way slower. All right, okay. So this is Avacyn. We are trying to induce salt, I reckon, from these things. Let's see how inductional salty we can get. That was not even a sentence. Don't worry about it. 31 lands? Well, you know what I'm going to say to that. I'm going to say you're way low on lands. Your average mana value is 3.64. You got to let me at least add 2. This is 10 changes. I'm at least adding 2. You can't stop me. All right, Quicksilver Amulet. I don't think this is worth it on rate alone. So I'm going to trim it. Blade of Selves, Helm of Awakening. Boom Pile? All right, with Avacyn, I see what you're cooking. Beacon of Immortality. That one is looking a little cuttable. Oh, Fell the Mighty I don't like because it targets, so it's fizzleable. Ravnica at War. I don't think this card actually casts a wide enough net to hit things. I get what you're doing, but there's not enough multicolored creatures out there. Otherwise, I'd be all for it. I'm always going to recommend cutting Platinum Angel. I think it actually ends up losing you more games and it helps win. I get that there's like maybe there's definitely like an angel sub theme. Let me see if there's any angels that I'm like super big fan of. Probably. We'll have that pulled up for later. Mind Sensor, Boreas Charger. Boreas Charger is not good ramp. I've found. We can cut it from something more salty. Don't even worry about that. And then this Sarah's Guardian, mostly just vanilla. I don't really want Vigilance that much. I don't want it that bad. I think I'm going to cut Beacon because I don't see why we would need to double our life total all that much. Rule of Law. Yeah, there's some salt. Pacifism kind of locks somebody's commander out. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But you know what? I think maybe we can do a little bit better than Pacifism. I got some salty tricks up my sleeve. You'll see. You'll see. Same with like Hall of Triumph. It's just not worth it for the anthem. This is a Shadow Spear. Book of Exalted Deeds is funny. That's the Platinum Angel that you care about, right? That's the juicy one. Seer's Sundial. I don't know. We can add card draw to your deck. Let's get rid of Seer's Sundial. Well, no. Let's maybe get rid of Sunset Pyramid as our last cut, and we'll try to get some. We'll try to add some better card draw in. But first, I want to touch on the Angels. Oh wait, some salt too. Aura of Silence. You want salt? This card is so salty. It's so good. It shuts off artifact and enchantment decks, and then if they try to kill it, you just blow up their best thing in response. That's salt-inducing. All right, let's check out Angels. Maybe there's some salty Angels. There's Linvala. Linvala shuts things down. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Here's your replacement for Platinum Angel, Sarah's Emissary. It's better in basically every conceivable way. That's how I feel about it. Plus, it's salty because it means you can't die. Can't die to creatures. You just choose creatures, and creatures don't deal damage to you. There was a card that gave your creatures Vigilance. We'll just add a better one. Now at every combat, you can decide whether you want Vigilance or other abilities that can be even better. This Sanctuary Warden is a little bit of card draw, but I fear that we are clunking up this average mana value. So let me get some lands in. You know, Amiria's Call, definitely a notable exclusion. You should definitely make it. Just because it says non-angels. Oh, you have it. Sorry. Never mind. Kabira Takedown. Let's get some removal and some lands for you. I see, you know, you could play Amiria, the actual Amiria, and then when you play it, you'll notice that you don't have enough planes, and that will encourage you to add even more lands to the deck. So let's just add a planes. Just go up one. Note that I think that you should probably be playing at least 35 to 37 lands. Just because this deck is clunky. Not in a bad way, just you got to cast your spells, and your spells cost a lot of mana. I think Pearl Medallion will also help with that. It's basically Helm of Awakening, but for you. With your white cards costing less. All right, now card draw. I want to draw cards. That's what I want to do. Let's figure out some ways to draw cards while maybe, just maybe, being a little salty. There's Lauren, who could do that. Rumor Gatherer, Mangara feels like a good way to do that. Just sits there, and as they try to do things, draws you cards. Endless Atlas, kind of a better version of the Pyramid. I really don't like Battle Angels, but you are an Angel deck, so can't hate on it too much. And one more. We still need something else. I think Aerial Extortionist is pretty annoying. It's a pretty salty card. Because once people recast it, they realize you can just hit them again and exile it again. Yeah. I just want to lower your curve because we only have a few 2-drops. I want a way to draw cards. Turns out white is not so hot at drawing cards. Could you have ever believed that? Archivist, depending on how often they search, does draw cards. Lauren only kind of does because they need you draw them a card too. But it is just removal. What do you think, chat? What kind of card draw do you want in this deck? Oh, Folk Hero, 1 ring. Drannith Magistrate. Oh, Giada, yeah. What about Giada? That you know, that makes a lot of sense. We have Angel Payoffs in here. This is one of the best ones. And how many angels do we actually have, though? We have 15. Tenuous Truce. I like Trouble in Pairs. We'll have you try out Trouble in Pairs. I think with this deck it works out because they're going to constantly be trying to rebuild from the board wipes by double spelling. That's when we get them. That's when we get them. Okay. Cool. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still 6 more decks. So stay tuned, but I do have to run to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That didn't take too long. Did we autofocus somehow? What happened? We totally just autofocused. My camera just blurred me. There we go. Thanks a lot, camera. Okay, we're going to go to the next deck here. That is going to be Julian. Julian, you're up. I'm looking for some changes to a budget deck I'm building. This is the first time I create something from scratch, so any insight on how to further improve the deck is super appreciated. Okay, we'll see what we can do. I just also got notified that the professor just went live on Whatnot, so that's pretty hype. Feel free to stay and finish this stream first, obviously. But after that, you could probably go win some stuff. I might even go try to win some stuff. Let's get this deck pulled up. Lavinia, Flash, and Clues. This is a 5 changer, so we're gonna spruce this one up. I see Clues, I see Flash. Makes a lot of sense to me. She explores, okay. Sorceries, instants. Because Lavinia wants you to, she makes mana on other people's turns to then crack your clues. All right. I mean, so far, I like what I'm seeing. It kind of reminds me of the vehicles precon. So we're going to be investigating and flashing things in. I see Liberator and Shimmermere, so those are good for flashing. Hullbreaker Horrors, a messed up card in all the best ways. Artifacts entering. What does this do for us? Triggers things. What are we triggering? So Astrid, Sarah Jane, I think. No, maybe not. Not seeing a ton for Gandalf. There's like Kappa Cannoneer. And I guess no, not even that. We'll keep an eye on that. Don't love Brainstorm. I think I'm going to trim Brainstorm. It's kind of just a cantrip. And I don't think every deck wants cantrips. I didn't even spell who's right. It's supposed to be W-H-O-S-E. Oh, well. Enjoy your typo. All right, let's get Brainstorm out of here. Choose any of our players. Investigate, yeah, a bajillion times. That's pretty cool. Unwind. And then just every mana rock. Wow. 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess not every mana rock, but a decent amount. Choose a creature, destroy everything else. We're going to put mechanized production on Clues, obviously, because that's badass. 34 artifacts in the deck. What does this do? You tap up to 1 creature and put a stun counter on it. This one's a little low impact. We're going to trim this. Try to find something else. Same with spring-loaded saw blades. It doesn't craft into anything that exciting, so let's try to remove it. Make an improvement there. What does this do? Each player's end step. Well, that's perfect. We want Flash. Excellent. Untap our stuff. Cool. Works with our mana dorks. Cracking Clues for cheaper. This Gandalf, I don't... Chat, can you just correct me if I'm wrong? I don't really see... I don't see anything that works with Gandalf. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving causes a triggered ability for yours to trigger, it triggers an additional time. I don't know what that would be, though. I just don't see a lot of that happening. Do you? Like, there's like artifacts entering, and there's a Kappa cannon here, but it doesn't really matter a ton. There's... I don't see it. I think I might trim this thing. How do we feel about that? Chat seems to agree. Silence is always taken as agreement. Just don't see a lot of payoffs. End step, we get flash things. Drawing cards. Definitely need time sieve. We're in blue-white. We can't even play time sieve. Doesn't trigger on the commander. I don't even think it would. Really? Nah, if it's entering, that doesn't trigger Lavinia. Scrap trawler? Nah, we don't have ways to, like... We can sack clues, but we can't sack artifacts that well. While we think about this, though, I think it's important to note that Card Kingdom is a sponsor of this channel, and we love them a lot. You know, we've tried Redacted website. We tried it out, and the problem with Redacted website tends to be that when you order 75 packages, they charge you $1 75 times. And I'd so much rather order with Card Kingdom's prices and just get everything shipped at once in a reasonable time frame, not 27,000 business days later. And the other problem is that I always notice that, like, stuff just goes missing, especially when you try to track like 100 packages. So get with Card Kingdom, you know, leave that stuff behind you. Leave it behind you. Forget about it. As we go to the blue-white, what do we want to search? This deck's a little bit like open-ended. I could try to search for cards that have flash. There's a couple. Leyline of Anticipation is probably good too. Just to give everything flash, but it's mostly artifacts. Teferi, Venser. Maybe we search like Clue? If there's any Clue payoffs that we missed. Prof makes a Clue, kind of. Oh, Martha Jones. When you sack a Clue, she and something can't be blocked. Is she in here? Because we're adding her. It's a nice little Clue payoff. It's kind of hidden away in Doctor Who. We are going to have to trim one more card. I've never been a big Unwind fan. Let's get rid of that. I guess Senator Peacock is a similar thing. Oh, Academy Manufacturer? Yeah, of course he's in here. Let's go type artifact with flash. Maybe there's some cool ones we can cheat out. Sicarian Infiltrator is a nice one. It is flash. It's like a Mull Drifter, but you can sort of like pay a bunch of mana into it if you want. And he is a token. It makes tokens for Benny. Let's try that. Let's infiltrate and draw some cards. Oh my god, I don't know how to drink. Steel Fingerfoot. Angel of Blues Clues. What about Rewind? Steel? What are we talking about? Steel thing here. I'm not really sure what this Fingerfoot thing is. It sounds made up. There we go. Back at it again. Okay. Vidalcan Ori, something to consider. This deck is definitely I like that you've got win cons. Oh, there was another card that I always talk about. Knowledge is power. That's how you win. Knowledge is power. Now when you crack your clues, your team just gets an overrun. Now you don't get trampled, but you get the plus plus plus. It's big damage. It's big damage. Let me again search clue and make sure we're not missing anything. I doubt it. Just checking. Well, I guess we don't want type clue. We want O clue. There we go. Yeah, nothing here that like really speaks to me. Maybe we should search investigate though. That could be more so what I'm looking for. Like disorder in the court can make clues. Do we have any ETBs? We have like Sad Robot, Chrome Courier, Astrid, Investigator, Kappa Cannoneer has ETBs. That's like standing out to me. Ezrim. I think I like Disorder. And then I did add. I cut a counterspell, so let me get a better one that I like more. You have Dovin's Veto, Counterspell, Arcane Denial. What's another one I'm a huge fan of? Oh, an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, yeah. I like that better than Rewind. Just saving the 2 mana I think is pretty huge. I think it's a little bit like, yeah, you have outlets to untap the lands, but I think it's just better to just have a 1 mana counterspell every time. Urza Lord High Artificer. Yeah, that's a good one for this deck. Dang. That's a really good one. Okay, I'll leave Sicarian Infiltrator in the drafts. Urza is like a must-have. I can't leave out Urza. So Sicarian's the next ad, but that's Urza slaps. Okay. Time for Richard. Richard has a showcase. This is a little bit different. I'm just going to show off this deck, basically, to you guys. And then we can all be like, dang, Richard deck is really cool. Let's copy. Paste. And there you have it. Oh, this title's great. Is that me and Mia? I don't even know you could like put these emojis into Moxfield. Are these just like Android emojis or something? Already I'm showcasing how awesome the deck is. But yeah, we audited this deck very recently, so I can talk about what we like about it. Will help for those who don't know. Whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, you create a 2/2 zombie with Decayed, which means it dies when it does anything, basically, and then you sacrifice a zombie on your end step to draw a card, and then, obviously, if it doesn't have Decayed, you get a zombie. So this deck, probably should talk about the highlights first. Let's start with Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler is the scariest zombie. I know Grave Merchant is in this deck, and Grave Merchant's going to do a ton of work, but Gravecrawler is actually the scariest zombie, because when you make it cost 0 with Rooftop Storm, or when you sacrifice it to add a mana to your mana pool, you can now recast it, having spent virtually nothing. And there are cards like Diregraph Captain, which when a zombie dies, you drain somebody for 1 or make somebody lose 1 life. Now you're doing infinite of those. And even something as simple as Archghoul of Thraben, you get infinite triggers. So you draw your whole deck of zombies, and then you find, oh, Diregraph Captain, amazing. I think I'll play that and then win the game that way. Grey Merchant, probably the next scariest zombie, because look, if you wait too long, they're gonna play Undead Butler or something and mill the Grey Merchant into their graveyard, and then at that point, it's only a matter of time before a zombie apocalypse comes around, or a Living Death, or a Breach the Multiverse, and then you're just screwed. You're just screwed. And then let's also look at another combo in the deck, Necro Duality. Comboing with, again, these sack outlets like Carrion Feeder and some of the other ones that I'm sure are here. let's look at, yeah, Phyrexian Altar and Ashlyn's Altar are the two other big ones. But they, anyway, Rot Hulk with Necro Duality is an infinite combo because you're going to get a copy of Rot Hulk. In response to the copies trigger, you sack Rot Hulk, and the copy returns the Hulk. Then you sack the copy, Rot Hulk enters again, and just because of how Necro Duality is worded, you just get a copy. You don't even have to sack the original copy. It just makes infinite Rot Hulks. Just make sure the actual card is in the graveyard for that. We also have some lords. I don't like all the zombie lords, but we do have the important ones that actually give you something else, like Zombie Master, which gives regenerate, Lord of the Undead, which can return things, Diagram Captain, which has that important dies ability on it afterwards. And I think those, and Undead War Chief, which makes them cheaper. This is a reverse lord, Noxious Ghoul, which shrinks everything -1/-1 a million times. There's no way to win the game if this is out, if you're a creature deck, realistically. We've got some ways to pressure them with sacrificing creatures, Fleshbag, Ravenous, and then just absolutely bang in reanimate spells like Reanimate, Incarnation Technique, and Living Death for the wins. Plus, Breach the Multiverse. That might have been a Mia special. Let me drink real quick. Some other notable bangers: Meathook Massacre, another dies trigger for those infinites. Kindred Discovery to draw us bajillions of cards whenever anything happens. Same with Skull Clamp. Same with Jet Medallion, reducing all of our stuff. Altar Dementia's here as a payoff. And then, have you seen these instants? Lethal Scheme, Deadly Rollick, and Pylon can all be free. Fierce Guardianship, also free. Mana Drain, amazing. Vamp Tutor, Gravecrawler, watch out. Gravecrawler's coming for you. And I want to say there's actually one more combo with Mikaeus, who gives Undying, and Putrid Goblin, who has Persist. If you have both of these out at the same time, you can sacrifice Putrid Goblin infinite times. Infinite times. So obviously, after we audited this deck and are now showcasing it, it's the best Will Hunt deck we've ever seen. Because how could it not be? It's even got Zombie Mia and Zombie Beezy emojis. Quite impressive. Okay, we are going to move on as my throat continues to deteriorate. Okay, next up is John. John, let me get your deck in. This is John number 1, not John number 2. John M, not John A, I shall say. Mizzix. We are Mizzixing people. This is going to have a quick 5 changer here. Mizzix says when you cast spells with a lot of mana value, it starts to make all your spells cost less. So I'm sure there's X spells in this deck where you just stack up experience and just make them huge. Was there... Let me just double check to make sure there wasn't a little blurb on this deck. No, we're good. It looks like there might be some goading going on, which would make sense why this deck's called Rizzix. Mizzix with the Rizzix. Alright, the first thing I notice is I don't like Psychosis Crawler really at all. I just feel like this card is so expensive for what it does. No Mana Crypt, L. Absolute L. And I think Epic Experiment also isn't going to work too well for you when you have all these X spells. They're kind of misses. Epic Experiment is already dicey because you have 35 misses in your deck, just from lands. Well, 34. So that's definitely a card I'm going to trim. I don't like Melek. I think he just is hard to get going. And yeah, let's trim Psychosis Crawler. We already have stuff like Gutter Snipe. And I'll add Fiery Inscription so you don't lose out on win cons. It's just another Gutter Snipe, but it's an enchantment. Seal of the Guild Pact. Your Izzet spells cost 1 less for each. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of this either. Heavy investment, and not all your spells are Izzet, so you don't get that much of a reduction. I think you might want more ramp in this deck. We got to cut one more card. Echoing Truth, I think, was in this precon. I wonder if this is like a updated precon. Stolen Goods. That's a classic. I can't hate on Stolen Goods. I really can't. I might hate on Charmbreaker Devils just because it's not an instant or sorcery, and it requires a lot of setup. So that'll be our last cut. I do like where you're going with this experimental augury. I wonder if there's another way to proliferate. Oh, Tezzeret's Gambit is a classic in this deck. Do we have it? Yeah, of course. Of course. There's Flux Channeler. It's maybe not the greatest because it's not an instant or sorcery. Steady Progress is another option. Same with Volt Charge, I guess. But yeah, you might have the right idea. Maybe what I would do is just put in Contentious Plan, perhaps. Perhaps. Does Ichor-Moon Gauntlet give players? No, it does not. Say, lame. Time Stretches in this deck. Sheesh, we are not messing around. Not messing around at all. Radstorm. It's not even out yet, but is it even in here? $30 pre-order? Yeah, I wonder if that's going to stick. We will just leave it for now. Radstorm's something to consider. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely one of the updated. This is definitely an updated precon. I had this one, so I could tell kind of what was in it. You might be interested in another land, maybe an MDFC, just so you hit your land drops. Like Solemnity Vision, I think is probably one of the best ones for this deck because it helps find you another thing, and then it gets reduced by Mizzix. Because I think as soon as this card costs 2, it's actually pretty sick, and you can make it cost 1, no problem. Maybe I just need to see, like, let's search things that happen when you cast, you know? When you cast these spells. What can we get? What can we get that's really cool? Do we have Electromancer? Yep. But what about some of the other ones, you know, like Brawl? I like Brawl more than I like that other card you had, the Guild Pact Mana Rock. This is just, like, so much cheaper to reduce things. I do like that you have Haughty Djinn. I think that card's great. We could use maybe another good counter spell, because ideally Counterflux and Rewind are not what I love. I would also kind of maybe get Mirror March and Aetherize out of here at some point in the future. Maybe I want to keep some of these other cards in exchange for cutting things. Like, honestly, I don't love Psychosis Crawler, but it is a win con. And if I had to cut, like, and same with Charmbreaker. Like, if I had to cut, I genuinely just think, where are they? Okay, yeah, I genuinely think Aetherize and Mirror March are just not what you want to do. So I think I want to cut those even more. But let me get you a better counterspell. Let's just go for, like, Arcane Denial. Just to have a hard 2-mana no button for the deck. I just gotta make sure we had 2, 4, 7. That works. Okay. So we need one more. I want it to be a doozy. I want it to be an absolute banger. Hit him with the Shark Typhoon. New Melik is a backup to Mizzix. See, now that I like. The new Melik. I think he's the Reforged guy. Yeah, because it makes your first thing. It works right away. Instants work the whole turn cycle. That's a good one. Good suggestion, chat. Solid. It is now time for the other John. Copy link. Paste link. John, we're pulling your deck up right now. We still have this deck to go, which is a 10 changer, and then we have 2 more after this, and then we're going to be, that'll probably be a wrap. Okay, so, Nethroid. we're going to make 10 changes to this Nethroi. And John did have a little write-up. Let me read that. I'm trying to keep this with a 0 power or low power version of the deck, which makes sense. Now, I think everyone's going to point out the absolute dirty wombo combo with Nethroi. I mean, I forget the dude's name. Let me screen black, white, equal to. Where is he? Where is he? Chat, you already know what I'm about to say. Oh, hey, Star-Lord. You're going to have to wait till the next stream. This is like, we're finishing up the queue right now. But normally you send it a super chat and then we run through the queue. But we are done for the time. Well, done accepting new decks. It's Scourge of the Skyclaves. That's the card. That's the one. Yeah, because Scourge is just so dirty. Yeah, for those who do not or may not know about the synergy with this, the star of this card is checked in all zones. So its power and toughness are each equal to 20 minus the highest life total among all players. In Commander, you start at 40, so usually this thing is a -20, -20. And what Nethroi checks for is that the creatures have total power, 10 or less. And when you choose Scourge of the Skyclaves, the -20 is factored in. So you don't get 10 power, you get 30 back because the -20 cancels out 20 of the positives. And you just get to basically get back your entire graveyard. It's like messed up. It's a very funny combo. Not infinite, but just synergy. All right, Scout's Warning, Flash. I don't love Scout's Warning. Might trim it. It seems a little like fluffy, kind of a cantrip. I'm always going to cut Arcane Signet from green decks. Mortal Kombat. That's a cool one. I worry though that you don't have enough creatures for it. You're pretty high up. I'll try to maybe increase the creature count a little. Buried Alive, Overwhelming Stampede. Farewell, we're never choosing graveyards. Oof. My arm is just crunching. It's awful. No, Dixon, when John said that this is a low power deck, he literally means the creatures have low power. Because we got Entomb, we got Buried Alive, you know, there's Tutors, there's Diabolic Intent. He means like literally low power. Pretty cheeky. Blood Artist, Supplier. Let me make sure to get cuts first before I go adding cards. Stag Beetle, that's a big boy. That's a big one. Spike Weaver, okay. I think the cards that I'm honestly going to start cutting are like spells that could be creatures. So like Overwhelming Stampede, I'll cut it in favor for a creature that does something similar. These instants, not so much because we want to have instants. Out of the Tombs. Mill cards. Yeah, I'd rather just mill with creatures. Same with Cathor's Crusade. I don't think we're comboing with it, so I'll just make sure that we find a creature that does something similar. But now we're to the tricky part where we need 5 more cuts. And I feel like some of them should be creatures. Some of them should definitely be creatures. I don't see any lands that are like, you know, that bad, so. I do like Kenra's Transformation, but I think in a deck with Mortal Kombat and milling, I think I just want to switch that to a creature. Your spot removal looks great. No notes there. Yeah, so we'll probably just have to find some creatures to cut. Brawn can go. Not going to miss Brawn too much. Hermit Druid is amazing. What a card. Corpse Knight. Sir Conrad, Underrealm Lich. They don't feel like they're exactly kind of jiving with what this deck is. Well, I know Sir Conrad's great because when they leave, but we're not getting a ton of card draw. I love Underrealm Lich, but I just don't think it's exactly what this deck is doing. And we got to cut cards, right? So Champion of Lamholt can maybe go, since we're just going to probably add another, we're just going to add another overrun. We need to cut one more card. Druid, nice. Druid's sick. Oh, I think Carried we can replace with something better. One of the first card options to mill that I think of is Undead Butler. And then there's also Aftermath Analyst for mill. That's like synergy with milling all day. Get our graveyard filled up, and then just rock and roll. I am going to run to the bathroom again because apparently the seal is broken. I'll be right back. Okay, that was the last break. There will be no more breaks, ever, for anyone. All right, so I added some more self mill. Let's look at more creatures with power 0, just to see what we can see. There are some mana dorks here. The stars don't count. I don't like that they're trying to show me stars because I don't want it. Incarnation Technique, that's a really good way to mill and a really good way to reanimate. And since it's a spell that mills, the only thing about that, though, is that we have a lot of... Well, maybe it'll still be good. Maybe instead we put like Vile Entomber instead. That's a 4-mana creature that can entomb to help find our win cons. Oh, and I was going to think of a ramp. Let's go Earthshaker Giant just for that overrun ETB that we can get immediately. I mean, Fester Leech is an option. Fertilid is also an option. Fertilid could be good. Let's get some more mill. Let's do Circle of the Land Druid. I want to make sure your graveyard's always powered up. And I guess some of what we're missing too is just ramp, right? I don't see a lot of ramp in this deck. I see birds, Bloom Tender, Tribe Elder. Yeah, let's get Wood Elves going. Let's bust out our Wood Elves. Let's bust out our Elvish Rejuvenator. They have low power. They ramp. They fill the early game. It's exactly what we want. Because you've kind of got the big late game stuff covered. You've got some of the big boys. Who else can we get? Maybe I should search counter so that I'm not getting all these stupid stars. Yeah, Rampant Rejuvenator. That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, we've definitely helped shore up the ramp. That's for sure. Rayhan enters with 3 counters, and if our creatures with counters die, we can move them. So with a Sack Owlet, of which we have several, we can almost treat it like a fireball. Spike Feeder, sort of what we're looking for. Sort of. Yeah, Milliken is a 0-1 that ramps, but there's also like some other rampies that we kind of missed. Like Incubation Druid is just better, I think. But I'm just trying to see if we can find one more like thing with like a lot of oomph. You know, a lot of punch behind it. It might be that we can't. That's no big deal. I'm just checking here. Because, yeah, John, you definitely have the big boys covered. And now that we added this overrun, it helps a lot. I wish Anger could go in this deck. Because maybe we want another haste enabler. Okay, wait. What about Surok and Goreclaw? There's your haste. There's your other like non-Marauders haste enabler. Because they're all gonna just enter at the same time. They get counters and then they just get haste. It's like pretty sick. That to me, we did it. That was it. That was the good stuff. All right, Max, it is your turn. Okay, I think you sent me a decoy email. All right, let me go this. And then fire this up here. Nope, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. Snakes and Squirrels 2. It's a sequel. But you know what we say when we do Snakes and Squirrels? This is the squeakquel. And we are ripping off Alvin and the Chipmunks, the squeakquel, a little bit. But if you don't tell them, I'm sure they're cool with it. All right, so the goal is to sack something. And I think we tuned up a deck that was similar to this. I think it was Sivirus Cloakwood. So maybe this is the same one, maybe not. But yeah, when you activate Sivirus, you're going to get squirrels on your end step because of the background. Sivirus is a very good card. I like it very much. Obviously, we got Field of the Dead. Big props. One of the first decks of the day to have Field of the Dead in it. Ooh, let's get this Temple of the False God out of here. There's your first. That's a free of charge there. Sword of the Meek. Lich Knight's Conquest. Sacrifice our artifacts and tokens to reanimate that many times. All right. I'm not even opposed. 44 creatures. That's a huge count. I love it. Excellent stuff. Excellent. All the usual suspects of, you know, Drain Game, Blood Artist, some sack outlets, maybe? Maybe not. I'm going to cut World Shaper for the same reason as that other one. Well, maybe you... Now, let's get Aftermath Analyst in here. That card is so sick. Willowgeist. When cards leave your graveyard... Yeah, this is too much vanilla for my tastes. I also don't like Ran. It doesn't trigger enough times. Once per turn is not enough for me. Hell's Caretaker, I think we can do a little bit better than as well. This is like an Oversold Cemetery, kind of. Okay. Whisper can be good. Kura. That's to get Field of the Dead, I hope. I would hope. Crawling Sensation. Yeah, I don't like Crawling Sensation either, just because like what you get isn't enough. A card I do want to put is Sting. The something dagger. Because now you can untap Sivirus every single combat. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Desecrated Tomb's funny. Like whenever you mill and then they give it to you, you get to make a thing. Mending of Dominaria, another way to bring back all our lands. But do we really want to shuffle? Maybe. Maybe we do. I think we should cut it. I think this sword is a little cute. We're not comboing. At least I don't think we are, so I'm going to trim it. Oh, we can get Thought Vessel out of here for sure. We're a graveyard deck. We want that. We'll get rid of Altar of Ball. Honestly, even 3 visits, we're just going to make it into a creature, so it makes the deck a little stronger. Is that 10 changes? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, so now we can start adding cards. Some of my favorites, like Undead Butler, the Mill Champion. He's so good at milling, and he gives you a 2-for-1 when you sack him. I think there's an aura that like untaps a creature. That's called Nature's Chosen, maybe? Activate only during your turn, only once each turn, but you can pay 0 to untap it, but it's only during your turn. That's kind of a bummer. Sort of a bummer. Bummer adjacent, certainly. We don't have a lot of ways to make tokens. I see Field, I see Tormod, Skeleton Crew, Slumlord. There's a couple ways. But the main one seems to be this Cloakwood Hermit, which is fine. Coffin Queen is bad by today's standards, but it's not. But it's neat. Okay. I like Willow because of it working with Sivris. Yeah, Seeker of Skybreak's another good untapper. Something you could maybe try. Maybe it's a little bit janky. How about Dictate? Because we already have the other one. Let's get Dictates of Erebos in here and just make it so that our opponents cannot resolve creature spells. That's going to be a bummer for them. Good luck. Good luck with that. We're going to definitely be playing the Drain and Gain game. I see Blood Artist and I see Mirkwood Bats, but I don't really see ways to sacrifice. I'm not... Anybody else who have Sir Conrad and Dreadhound, but I don't see ways to actually sacrifice creatures. So I'm thinking Viscera Seer. Viscera Seer. I'm thinking Carrion Feeder. But that's not all, because I'm also thinking Midnight Reaper for card draw and Grim Haruspex, which is basically the same thing. Now, when you sacrifice all of these very squishy, sacrificable things, you're getting a bunch of cards off of it, and it's a party. Moxfield was struggling to add that Grim Haruspex. There we go. And then maybe we want, like, one more sack outlet, Altar of Dementia. I want to have alternate ways to sacrifice so that if Sivris isn't out, God forbid, we can still burn our opponents out with all of these sacrificings. Because you got all the win cons. I just think it's going to be hard to machine gun people down. Dina and or Marauding Blight Priest. But we're not really gaining life outside of Aristocrats. I'd rather just have another Aristocrat at that point, like a Zulaport. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Oh, Priest of Forgotten Gods is cool because we can basically treat it like another Sivris. And so then we can do like Seeker of Skybreak and untap it. And then it's really good with Sting. It just keeps creatures off the board. That's a nice ad. That's a cool deck you got there, Maxine. I like what we cooked up with it. And it's time for the final. The final one. This should be Crazy Man. The craziest of men. Let me just make sure this deck works. It does. Sidri. Sidri's, I don't know, mom and pop shop. All right, so Sidri says, you can pay blue to make a non-creature artifact into an artifact with power and toughness equal to its mana value, and you can pay black-white and give one of those things, artifact creatures, death touch and lifelink. So a lot of pinging is very good. Animating things that have high mana value to then deal damage with them, also good. We'll see what Crazy Man's cooking up. Stephanin's in a classic example of, oh, you give a lifelink death touch, now you're killing stuff. Now you're killing stuff. And this is going to be a 10 changer. Oh, there's so many words. I'm going to read this quietly to save my voice. I guess that could be okay. Weatherlight. I don't like Weatherlight. We are going to trim Weatherlight. Kind of a vehicle sub-theme, I guess. But I still would trim Weatherlight. No offense to Weatherlight. Oh, Sidri's cute because you just crew vehicles for a blue mana instead of whatever obnoxious crew class they have. I can get behind that. I can certainly get behind that. I'm also going to go ahead and add Thought Monitor to this deck because if you have artifacts and you have Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor is arguably better. Oops. You've got D-Spark, Swords Part 2, some Tutors, some card draw. Caltrops is a classic. It means creatures can't attack you because you'll animate it and then turn it into Death Touch Lifelink and they'll just die. Unwinding Clock plus Reservoir too. Okay. I'm really not a Darksteel Forge guy. I'm pretty much always going to recommend cutting that. Same with Artificer class at this point, just because it's not an artifact. And there's so many artifacts in this deck, we'll just up the consistency. Dance of the Manse. Again, not a fan. I think I'd rather just draw more cards and reanimate them with like Shroom. Got some of the reduction boys here. Let's get yeah, what's the brand new card? Gadgeteer. Forensic Gadgeteer. It makes some of your artifacts have abilities that can cost one less, that's fine, but mostly what it does is whenever you cast an artifact, make a clue, which draws for one card. So it's very similar to this Archmage. It is a very similar card. I'll switch the printing to something readable. There we go. There we go. Oh, and you get black for Greasefang. Okay, I'm picking up what you're laying down. Since you have so many artifacts, maybe... Well, we'll keep an eye out. Let's see. So we need to make 6 more cuts. I can already feel I'm going to be adding lands to this deck. Making more big robots is so much better than making a few robots slightly bigger. That's fair. Tempered Steel is kind of bleh since we're not going that wide. I can totally agree with that. Absolutely agree. I need to look up vehicles right now because I'm not sure if I'm looking at the best vehicles or if I'm looking at, subpar vehicles that I wouldn't play. Obviously, Smuggler's Copter, Shorkai are in here. Oh, I don't see Smuggler's Copter. Well, I like Smuggler's Copter better than most of these other ones. But I did cut a vehicle already, so let's say that's the ad. That can be the ad, and then we'll go 1 for 1 on future vehicles. So I don't mess up your count. Oh, Bankbuster. Bankbuster's going to be great. Bankbuster is definitely better than, let's see, what does Deluxe Dragster do? Yeah, we're going to cut Deluxe Dragster. And we'll get Bankbuster going. All right. Is there any other vehicles we can switch? Probably not too many more now. Oh, man, but I do like Reaver Titan. And actually, I also like Mighty Servant of Luco. Hold on a second. Is this just a vehicle overhaul? Because we can get rid of, like, Prodigy's Prototype, and let's just add both of those. Mighty Servant. Plus, this one has Trample, so Death Touch Trample is a combo. You're going to hit people with it. And then what was the other one I wanted to add? Reaver Titan, just because it's freaking sweet. Yeah, Reaver Titan's awesome. Oh, and when it attacks, it deals, oh no, but it deals 5 each opponent, but the only problem with that is that it has protection from mana value 3 or less. So we can't actually use Sidri to crew it or to give it lifelink Death Touch. That's a little sad. Not going to lie. But maybe we still play it because it's a vehicle. If you're there crazy, it's a little bit of a non-vo, but I think it's a strong vehicle. It can help finish people off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still need 4 more cuts. Let's get those done, like I keep saying. Until end of turn, yeah, I don't like this guy at all. I remember reading him before when those precons came out, and I was not happy. Same with one with Machine. I don't want to have to. I want to draw in the early game too. I don't want to have to wait until the late game to draw 87 cards. And then I think maybe Monolith too. It's just pricey. Plus, all your cards are not colorless. This is a little finicky. No, you're not terrible, crazy man. Come on now. Come on, you're good. I'm just auditing, letting you know what I think might be some improvements. That's what this whole process is about. We're just learning. We're all just getting some more information from other people, you know? Second opinions. I'm not gonna call anybody stupid. This isn't the Deck Roast stream. Even on Deck Roast, we don't say anyone's stupid. That's a little too mean. Kappa Cannoneer is an option. Especially giving it Death Touch, or not Death Touch, especially giving it lifelink when it's unblockable. Could be neat. This deck has 43 artifacts, which is very good. But I think I still needed to cut one more card? No, is that 10? 4. That was 10. I'm glad I checked. So we need to add 4 more cards. Maybe Urza? The other Urza that we added before. He makes gigantic things that you can then give Death Touch lifelink to gain a bunch of life. It works with your Aetherflux Reservoir a little bit better too. Is there not enough lands? Yeah, I'm going to add a few lands, crazy. I think 34. Yeah, you're at 3.6 average mana value. I try to stay, for you, I'd probably want 36. So maybe there's some MDFCs I could add for you. How about Glasspool Mimic? Clone your vehicles. clone your friggin' vehicles. And then what's another good one? I wouldn't say Kabir Takedown because you're kind of not the heaviest on creatures. Maybe Amiria's Call, just to make some flyers. Oh, you know what? Let's do Amiria's Call. Do you want to do that one? Maybe we just do Hager's Mauling. Let's do Hager Mauling. One color MDFC's, well, there's only one color. MDFC's not the strongest in 3 color, but I think you would still benefit from having them. And I don't think, like, I think this is a lot. I feel a lot safer with this amount of lands. So we do need one more ad. You're good on instants. I'm not going to disrupt, like, your pretty solid suite of instants. Maybe just one more payoff for, like, casting artifacts. What can we get? What can we scoop up that's going to be sick for us? Any suggestions from chat? Academy Ruins? Okay, that's one to consider, crazy man. Academy Ruins could be good. Tezzeret, huh? Tezzeret's a potential win con. You have him, actually. Props to you. I love Tezzeret. What else could we do? I know there's probably ones that I'm missing. There's Urza. Do you have that Urza? Or do you have the other Urza? You have this Urza. Maybe I wouldn't go for that. Magister Sphinx? Get out of here, Temple of the False God. No way. No way. Not on this stream. Are there any vehicle synergies? There's SRAM, but I don't think we have that many vehicles. What do we have, like 20? Less than that? We have 13. Yeah, that's not enough for something like SRAM. We would need way more than that. Maybe an artifact that deals damage. How about that? Let's search type artifact. Oh, damage. Give Mana Crypt lifelink. Value. There's Walking Ballista, which there's Triskelion, also something to consider. Maybe I want 1 damage to a creature. And we want to target. Does that help? Does that get us? Does that get us where we want to be? Sky Sovereign you have, which is great because it deals damage. Just making sure. Blasting Station. We're not quite there with Blasting Station. We're close. We're close. Tameshi, something to consider. I'm really just looking for... I want like one more artifact to just deal damage to something. There's a Heart Piercer Bow, but it's an equipment. How is there not just like a, 3 mana stupid thing? I think it might be Triskelion. Maybe Ballista's better just because it's cheaper and a little bit more modal. But I think you gotta give something. You gotta get some value out of that Death Touch ability. I have to throw in Ballista to just fling murders at people. Okay. Thanks, Crazy. Thanks, everyone, for the super chats. We have actually finished the queue. I did it. I did not die. And Mia thanks you, and I thank you as well. But we are going to end off the recording there. So thanks for watching, and we will see you at the next stream.